Good evening, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the corruption detector, and this is your Red Pill news for Friday night live stream. We've got a special early show for you tonight. My comfy Sunday co-host Methods is here. My good friend JasonWokeUpInVegas, American hero, is here. And in the second half of the show, Black Conservative Patriot. You guys, it's going to be an amazing show. Please do sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and we will be right back after a brief word from our sponsor. When emergencies strike, there's always news stories about long lines of people and empty store shelves. Well, there's no need to be part of that chaos and the possibility of having to deal with FEMA food lines. Those that know what's coming are using today to prepare. You should make a plan too, and you can start by building an emergency food supply. I trust and use my Patriot supply, and you can too. They're the experts in emergency preparedness and have guaranteed 2-day delivery. Disasters won't wait, and neither should you. This week, you can save $70 on a 2-week emergency food kit when you go to my special website, preparewithredpill78.com. My Patriot Supply food kits last up to 25 years in storage and include breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. Order today and receive guaranteed 2-day delivery discreetly to your door. Take action so you're ready for what's coming and save $70. Those that know what's coming are preparing, and you can go to preparewithredpill78.com and get yours today. Once again, that's www.preparewithredpill78.com. And remember, when you support my sponsors, you support this channel. All right, gang. Thank you very much for sticking through that. Thank you to everybody who supports me through my channel sponsorships. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do what we do here. And without you, I wouldn't be able to have the show. So please, without further ado, join me in welcoming my co-host for this evening, Methods, and our good friend, Jason Woke Up in Vegas. Jason, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, brother? How you doing, Red Pill?
I am doing excellent. Methods, what's up, my friend?
Hey, what's up, Red Pill? YouTube chat, how's everybody doing tonight? And Jason, man of the hour, happy you're here tonight, bud.
Absolutely.
Hey, how you doing, Methods? Hey, everybody in chat, how you guys doing? I'll be in chat after the phone call. I can't participate in both, so I'm going to be in this moment right here, and then I'll come in and talk with you guys.
Always a gentleman.
Yeah.
Thank you for the support.
Man, I'm so glad you could do this on such short notice. I mean, I'm sure that people must have been clamoring to get you on their shows.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they wanted me to go to Fox and Friends in the morning. They're filming the live breakfast here at the bar or at a restaurant. But I prayed on it. I sat with it. I'm not going to go.
Okay.
They're not going to use me as a prop. If they want to get a hold of me and talk to me about the event, then I'll do that. But you're not just going to go sit me up on somewhere off in the corner of the stage, talk to me for 15 seconds about what happened.
Sure. So was it going to be kind of like a panel of other people that were at the event? They weren't going to do a segment on you?
No, it wasn't going to be a segment. It was just what the lady told me that called me said they're going to be doing different things. They'll bring it up and say something, but they talk to other people in the audience. They talk about Democrat candidates, and maybe later, Right. This is what's important to me. You guys are my family, Work's effective. I don't give a shit about Fox News. So.
Absolutely, man. I get it. Yeah, they typically just kind of talk to people sitting there eating and try to act like it's, casual and all that stuff. So rather have you here for sure. But with that said, man, with the time we've got, everybody wants to hear what happened. So why don't you start from the beginning of you getting into going to the rally, deciding to go, how all that played out, and we'll go from there, bud.
All right. Well, so they announced he was coming to Phoenix, and they hadn't announced the Vegas one yet. And Phoenix was close enough that as soon as I heard, I booked the tickets and made plans and was able to, plan it to go down there. So we drove down, get off of work, rush down there. What was that? Wednesday? Dude, I don't even know what day. We're Friday today, right?
Yeah, it's been a long
2 days. So he was Wednesday night in Phoenix, right? So Tuesday, we drive down, me and a buddy of mine, Jay, we drive straight down from work and we get in line, and we're like the first we were the first 100, but we ended up making really good friends with Megan, the one who got called up on stage and introduced to POTUS tonight, and got to shake his hand with the guy with the wall suit, and then the other dude, Chad. Those were we were all camped out all night together out there at front, man. It was so fun. It was cool, man. We were right there in the front. There was no way we were with Mario. I did an interview with him, that day I had the camera running. So we were all up there in a nice little herd, nice little family, man. We spent a lot of good, intimate time together, and we weren't missing it. We weren't getting out of that spot, dude. So as evening went, we're getting in the front. So as the day goes on and we get in, we all rush down there to the front of the stage. I was I don't even want to call it fame fagging, but it kind of is. But I mean, it's good what him and his family are doing for this country. I've never wanted to be part of something so much in my life that I wanted to be down front and just let him see that in me and know that. And so they opened up the gates and we close the door, baby.
Live television. What are you gonna do?
I love you. I'll be out in a minute. Sorry, guys. I love it. I haven't given much time lately, but we'll get there. So, they open the gates. We get in there, run down to the front, get down there. We're at the first railing right there at the podium. And it's 2:15, right? I look at my watch, it's 2:15. I'm thinking, man, POTUS ain't coming out till about 7:15, 7:30. I am way too old to be standing up here after the night and the day I had waiting on this dude. I'm gonna call it, I'm gonna go ahead and call this one that I need to go up here in the bleacher section. So
call the audible.
Call audible, man. I'm done, man. So I go up there and I ran into Larry, who we had talked a few times because he was in the parking lot and he was doing some citizen journalism too. And, I really respect that. So, I was out there talking to him. We'd spent maybe an hour or two between the night before and that day waiting in line to talking to each other. And I saw him in a section, I'm like, all right, I'll go hang out up there kind of by him, about 4 seats down. And I had my buddy Jay with me that drove out. And we went up there and we knew they were getting ready to serve food at 3, open up the chow line, we called it. So we wanted to go up there and beat the rush. And we left Jay to watch the seats. And on the way up there, we saw that young man struggling down the stairs. And he had a couple of guys with him, that young guy who ended up being Steven, his grandson. And then his son, the older gentleman, and they were having a tough time getting him down the stairs because there wasn't much room. And, it's a situation. And, me and Larry, we just looked at each other, man. We didn't even have to really ask each other. It was just something we knew we were going to do to help this gentleman to his seat. We didn't know who he was. We didn't know where he was going. It was just in that moment, he needed us, so we were there.
So just knee-jerk reaction, where we go one, we go all. We see a guy having a hard time, we just step up and do things. So man, that's to people that don't know you or know little about you. That's exactly what Jason would do.
Yeah.
And the idea of it just made complete sense when I saw the video. Because when I saw the video, I saw it before I even knew it happened. Because you talked to some of our friends beforehand, and I'm catching up on their conversations, and I'm watching this video, and I'm like, I recognize that beard from anywhere, and I knew. So when I put 2 and 2 together, I had a great. Okay, so you see the guy, you start helping him down the stairs, and then what happens next?
Everybody just starts yelling, and I was just in that moment. I picked him up, and I was just so honored that to be in that moment, man, and to be able to just stop everything I was doing and share that with him. And, I was in tears. Everyone was clapping, and, I saw several people were crying with me as they were walking down or getting out of the way, and they're all clapping and chanting, and, they're all encouraging. And it was just, it was definitely, it's something that touched me probably for, a lot more lifetimes and generations than just this one here and on this planet right here, right now.
Absolutely.
I'll probably feel that one for a while, man.
Jason, I just want to say, as soon Method sent over that video, he said, Jason, he said, your boy's going viral. I pull it up. I didn't know what to expect, dude. But like Methods, as soon as I saw you carrying that, man, I said, of course. You know, I mean, this is exactly the kind of thing Jason would do. I started crying. You know, I've been feeling real emotional the last couple of days. You know, I don't know that I could feel that something like this was happening, but, you know, I mean, it seems like we are coming together more than we have this entire time. You know, things are accelerating. You know, and I just started thinking about, you know, the effect that we're having, you know, what we're able to do. You with just one person, you know, and that entire auditorium just rising up and cheering because you know, offered out your hand and you gave this man some kindness at probably one of the most important times in his life. You know, how many more Trump rallies is he going to get to go to, you know?
Probably none.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you there, Red Pill, on that. Okay, so let's hop through a few things here real quick. Make sure we're on time here. How did it feel when you found out? Because I know some of our mutual friends were reaching out to you, getting you on the phone, and saying, "Oh, by the way, Donald Trump Jr. tweeted out the video. Oh, by the way, Breitbart got it. Piers Morgan picked it up. It was being covered everywhere." What was going through your head sitting there in this event, and before you know it, and you're still thinking about what you just did, it's spreading across the world like wildfire?
I don't know, man. There was a few things. It was trying to be in the moment. I was glad I didn't have no service, right? Because I couldn't get lost in that, right? I couldn't see it. I would get a couple of our Discord messages would come through from you guys over there, Tootsie and Allie, and everybody was in there, and I'd get a little piece of it, and then I couldn't even respond back because I didn't have no service, really, right? So I didn't know the effect of it, right? You guys know me. We don't even have a TV in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The kids don't have phones. They don't have video game systems. So I'm so unplugged from the matrix for the most part, unless it has to do with this research or this movement or somebody, you know, making myself available, somebody making themselves available to me, talking with somebody. There's always something to do. There's always something that needs done.
Right. You're living life how we all probably should be, as far as cutting off everything, you know, all the vices and whatnot. Okay, so let's step into when you were approached, because you were approached to have your seat upgraded. They then wanted you to have a different seat. How did that play out? Because we do know, and he's asked about it, it's became a conspiracy theory about the infamous shirt change to 2K20, you know, AD. You know, what happened there?
I just, when you said that, I saw myself there. I should have had the blue shirt on me and then went like this. And came up with the blue shirt.
Right.
All right. So when we get up there, she asked us, I forget her name, the lady who was running all the seating and was in charge of that in the white and black striped or plaited shirt, dress, whatever it was. So she asked if we would mind sitting up there in case he needed to use the restroom. And I said, no, not at all. I mean, should be honored to, right? So about 3 minutes had went by, and there was another younger girl who was seating the people. And she came up to me, and she looked heartbroken because she didn't want to have to tell me anything, like, because it was so cool. You've seen it just on videos and stuff and felt it. Imagine how it was felt in that moment, right? And so when she came up to me, she goes, the only thing you're not allowed to wear the Q shirt back here. Now, it's a big Q, you know?
Yeah.
And it's blasted on there. And it's not a little Q like that was snuck in today, that who knows how that got on there. I don't know. There's too much stuff to figure out to try to decode that, right?
Right.
This is very, I mean, it stands out. You see that, right? Who knows what the media is going to do with it? Who knows what the reasoning is? I trust the plan. I don't need it validated, and I don't need a reasoning for it, you know? So she goes, we can give you a shirt, you know, and I said, no, I have a shirt. Like I was already so grateful. I didn't want to ask him for anything else, right? I said, no, I have a shirt, the one I used to sneak it in. I knew I couldn't have it in here, right? like, and I said, it's okay. I got the tattoo anyway. And I showed her the tattoo and just smiled. I said, I'm going to get this on there. I said, I'll get it out. I'll get it on there. If you see me a lot of times, I kept doing it like this when I would do that to POTUS.
Yeah.
He would speak, I go like that because I was getting, trying to.
There was a lot of people who noticed the tattoo for sure.
I got to give a shout out to my, the family and everything, man. So,
right on.
And that was it. I said, no, I got a shirt. It's down there. And, I put my own shirt on and gave this back to my buddy, my poor buddy, man. Jay, I love you if you're watching, bro. He road tripped it all the way to Vegas with me. He's left in the bleachers all by himself, and there I am sitting VIP behind POTUS, and he's just over there like.
I got to say, when I first saw the video, I was like, that must be Jason's brother. I've never seen him before, but then come to find out it's Larry.
It's Larry. It's crazy because the way this worked out, man, I was down in the front row, right? I was right there in the front. For me to be in that moment and then to be there with Larry, and look at this picture someone sent earlier. I'm going to pull it up on the phone and blow it up. But this was sent to us. It was sent. Can you see that? That was before. That was before this happened. Look at that moment we shared together. That was after an hour or two. That's what happens at these rallies. That's what happens in this movement. That's what happens when we're vulnerable with each other and we share who we really are and we're comfortable. Dude, it was destined. How does it not happen, right? It's so weird. I talked to a Navy vet today, and it's like, dude, we've had to have been here. We've had to play this out. This is the destiny of it. This is so, it's crazy.
God put you where you needed to be. Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And then today, look at POTUS calls up the three people. Like, and they're all like, he's participating. I watched him at the Hope for Prisoners speech yesterday, right out here, because a friend of mine that I met on a website posted on a Republicans page out here. He gets on there and says, hey, I got invited to speak at the Hope for Prisoners program. I just graduated. President's going to be there. And I don't have a hat. I need to borrow one. I'm like, bro, welcome home. I'm going to gift you one. Right. I bought him one, and he called me when I was on the way out to this one, to the one in Phoenix. And he said, dude, they just called me and told me I get to bring two people. I'm going to bring my wife. And I want to bring you. And so I went and I got that personal moment with POTUS and the way he's talking to these prisoners that are just getting out. Can you imagine getting out of prison and being important enough for the president of the United States to come see you and talk to you and tell you he loves you and you're valuable and we're ready for you and we're going to support you? How encouraging, man.
Yeah.
These are the programs they're setting up, right?
No, watching that, we all watched it on the live stream. I mean, we found out that you were there, and it felt like a rally, like you said to me. Like, it really felt like a great moment. Trump really cared and took the time to spend there with people that otherwise, society might reject or frown upon or not hire because of their background or anything like that. And Trump made sure to be there in between two rallies on a 3-day rally events and stuff that he's doing. It was incredible to watch happen.
Yeah, dude. And he was a beast with them dudes. He was, because they had the job people, owners of the companies out here that are participating in the program. They had them there. And right out of graduation, they were going to hire him and work out contracts and get jobs. And POTUS is telling them, don't take what they give you the first time. You know what I mean? You guys heard it.
The art of the deal.
Yeah. Watch the deal, man. Very cool.
Right.
I love that, dude.
Well, let's make sure with the time we've got, everybody's going to want to know about a couple things. One, the when you got the coin that's got Donald Trump, it's a coin, right? Or is it a badge? Yeah, you got it right there. Yeah.
Challenge coin, a presidential challenge coin.
All righty. Well, you
beautiful.
Got that, but we all know, or some of us know, that you met Don Jr. And I'd love for you to tell that story right now.
All right, so we're sitting up there, and Secret Service walks up and says, come with us. And I'm already, I'm knowing something's going down, right? But I don't want to give too much, but I know something's getting ready to go down, right? And, so they're walking us down there. I said, where are we going? We ain't going to meet POTUS, are we? He just kept being all serious.
Right. You're looking for like the windowless van for to show up.
Yeah, something. And we get to the door, and Don Jr. opens the door, and his wife, is that his wife or his girlfriend?
His girlfriend, right?
Yeah, they're just dating right now.
Dating, yeah.
They come out, and the look they had, man. He looks at me and he goes, "Look, man, I was on my way over here, and I saw what you guys had done, and wow, thank you. This is what America's about. This is what patriotism is." And I said, "No, man, like, thank you. Like, we know what your family's doing for us. This is what it's about, man. We're fighting for you. We're praying for you. We love you. Like, thank you. You know, and it's not about me. It's about us. It's about this." And I was crying, right? And he was like, "Man, I just got myself together. I got to go on stage again. Knock it off." Something along the lines, right? And then his girlfriend was looking at me, and she teared up, and she just, like, you know, gave me a hug, and they hugged us, and, you know, just told us they were proud of us, man. And, you know, just like, yeah, right on, man.
You hugged a potential future president if we get our cards right.
Heck yeah.
Right.
So that's pretty awesome. And yeah, and definitely seeing him on stage, you know, talking, and he literally did like a half bow towards you was pretty awesome.
It was amazing.
And then having Trump talk about it and everything, it was just really like, because us that talk to you pretty much every day, you know, our circle of friends, you know, everybody, it was I'm not crying, you're crying conversation. And then when, you know, me shamelessly making sure Twitter knew it was you, because I was so proud of you. I had no problem. I told Don Jr., I was like, "That's him, actually." And I tagged you, making sure. Like, I mean, it was, and then getting the notifications from that, just seeing all that. And I guess a final point that we can get to about it is, because me and you even talked about it after it happened, because I didn't think that you even could wrap your head around how big the clip meant, or went everywhere, and what it meant to people to see that. And yes, of course, we love you, Jason, for everything that happened with that, you know, but in turn, like, it's what it meant to see that happen, because us as a movement, you know, are chastised and attacked regularly, you know, pick every name we've been called it, you know, all the way to, you know, Trump's campaign, you know, we've been attacked. And seeing literally what we know this movement to be happen in real time, stepping up to help your fellow man without thinking twice, and you know, not even wanting to take the shirt for them to give you because you had your own, because you didn't want to be a problem to anybody. Like, I know that's what you stand for. I mean, you talk about that a bunch. So I want to give you a moment to really discuss what does it mean to you to be a patriot?
You know, what was the lady's name that interviewed me today, where I interviewed her, where I snuck the question in there?
Kaylee McEnany.
Kaylee McEnany. I told her, I said, it's not sad, because that's what this movement's about, and we're getting there, right? I see it because I participate in it, so we're getting there. And it feels like it's rapidly shifting and coming upon us real lately over the last few weeks. And I told her, it doesn't have to be at a Trump rally. It doesn't have to be a veteran, right? It shouldn't matter. It doesn't have to be carrying them. It's about being of service for no other reason than to serve, right? Without any expectations, not even telling nobody about it. Even as down to, put away your shopping cart, but maybe that one that's 10 feet away from you on the way to putting yours up, put that one up so somebody can park there. You never know. It might be an older lady who has to park there, and she can't park there because that one cart's there, right? It's stuff like that. It's about serving and collectively being a part of something. Look, man, you guys know I've always shared my story and doxed myself. I've never given anybody the power to dox me. Everything I've went through in my life, it was training, and has brought me up to this moment right here, right now, right? So 7-time convicted felon, 3 times in prison, 20 years on methamphetamines. Like, doesn't matter, man. It's It's about where are we at right here, right now, right? I didn't participate because everybody was, I've never voted in my life, right? This place it's shit. The Matrix is shit. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of the taking. I'm tired of the kids, man. I'm tired of the we're killing babies after they're born now. No, it's enough. It's enough, man. And I'm going to fight for it, right? So it's what has to be done. It's not, there's what else is there, right? That's the form. What else is there?
Right. No, and that's exactly, because me and you have these conversations a lot because we always want, when we see people, worried about, things not happening a certain way, the consistent, concern fairy, I'll use that word, situation, or being frustrated, or whatever the case may be, battle fatigue. Me and you have this conversation, and we want other people to feel that exactly how you explained it. This is bigger than all of us individually, with Twitter accounts or YouTube videos. Like, we need to make sure that everybody knows that we're collectively building something that should have been there when we were born. And that's a society taking care of each other. And that's why, we gravitated, and, me and you became closest friends, and how, Red Pill and I became friends, and so on and so forth, because we want to create something that we've always wanted all along. And to have that happen, like, literally that viral clip can be used as a symbol for generations, even, and saying, yeah, that's what the Cube movement's about. That's what the Patriot, the MAGA movement was about, like that moment in history. And that's why we want to thank you for what you did. I can kind of speak on behalf for 78 and probably everybody in the chat here. We thank you for that, man. We needed that, because we've been so attacked and going through all these things. And I will say, I couldn't think of anybody else it would be better to be in that viral clip than you. And I thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to say, Jason, I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. I can't tell you how much it means to me, the fact that we met. I mean, it was it's just how it happens, dude. And I'm so glad that I have you in my life. What you did, it was such a selfless act, and I know that it was just from the heart. And Methods is right. That was the biggest takeaway. All these people saying, we are derided, we are called deplorables, we are called scum, okay? And then you see this young man, and he's carrying a World War II veteran down the stairs, like, this is who we are. I mean, this was the perfect personification of what we are and what this movement is about, and I'm so glad to know you, dude. I mean, you made me so proud.
Thanks, guys. I love you, man. And that's the whole thing I want people to take away from this. Like, I'm not me without you guys, right? We do this together. We spend all day together in Discord servers where, together we run ideas by each other. When it's not a good idea, we tell each other, right? Like,
yeah,
we're training. There's not a template for it, right? We've been so designed and indoctrinated and like designed to fight and be divided, right? Like, we're all capable of it. And that's like that was the biggest moment for me, right? Because luckily my family is like, I've got an amazing family, right? Like, they're so cool and non-judgmental, and they have let me while out and rock the crap out of my tinfoil hat from the beginning of this awakening and me participating in this, man. But I know a lot of you guys haven't had that. I know a lot of you guys have been ostracized. I know a lot of my friends, like Buddy and all these different people who have just their whole lives, man, MK Ultra survivors, SRA survivors. You guys are my friends. We talk to each other in Discord. We talk to each other on the phone. We've had phone numbers. We're in messages, man. That was that moment for you guys that have all been crazy this whole time, right? It was about what I told her in that interview today, man. It was finally an opportunity, like, to show people what this movement's about, right? And it's so much bigger than the one person, right? Because without you guys, like, I'm nothing, man. Right?
I feel the exact same way, dude.
Yeah, we all need this. We all need each other, and that's why, we get through all these things, because we see so much corruption, we see so much evil and the lying and everything that happens, towards us, towards the president that's duly elected. Breaking up the family, getting God out of our lives, whatever they're trying to do. And this right here, what you guys are seeing, us three talking here, is exactly why we get up every day and fight, because that's what we believe. And we know all of you guys are in this, everybody listening. And this love that you're seeing here is mutual for every single one of you. And I'm grateful to be a part of it. And I'm grateful, Jason, you came on tonight and talked about it.
Yeah, dude. Thank you.
And no, I did not carry this dude, everybody. Look, man, we've been trained well. We decode everything. We're discernment. But please do more. I mean, you guys, you know I'm going to talk about it. Ask me. I've given out my phone number hundreds of times. I'm not going to right now because I'm tired. Right? But
wait, are you saying he was not JFK?
No, he was not. Okay?
I've seen
I'm trying to figure it out, but don't take that hero's moment away from him. The only ones that are pushing that, we know there's disinformation agents. Anybody's going to try to smut something up, man.
Right. I've seen some great argumentative, like Cat's Cradle decode maps showing proof that it is him. But I'm going to take your word for it, and I'm going to put it on the shelf for now.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's good enough for me. Listen, before we let you bounce and BCP gets in here, I just want to go through some of these super chats. People have said some things. BCP said he was so psyched for tonight's show and asks everybody to share it. Berserker Bear said, where we go one, we go all. Patriots. Navy Vet said he spoke to Jason earlier. He's from Vegas. BCP again said, I got to talk to Jason. I got to talk to Jason a little while ago. What a true American. Thanks, Red and Methods, for tonight's program, and thanks for the invite. And I'm glad that you're here for this tonight, BCP. White Hat said, great work, Jason. See you soon. Hey, Patriots, love you all. FTW Champs said, Jason is the definition of what we all need to be. Amen.
Champs.
Lisa Collins says, Jason, you have to tell us about your Q shirt. Thank God we got that one in there. Purple Patriot said, God bless you, Jason. So proud to share this earth and this movement with you. Baby Yoda says, on the subject of leaving shopping carts, it's good to leave a shopping cart at a handicap spot. Someone dear may need some stability. That's a good tip there, baby. Good to see you, buddy. Chris Hawkins says, good SH1T, Jason. You're helping me right now. I think you helped out a lot of people, dude. Russell Waldschmidt said, exactly how I feel, crying like a baby. Jeff Boyd, thank you. James Rohrbach says, Matthew 22:36-40, God first. Son of a Green Card says, we need that clip set to the background music of This Is Me with Where We Go One, We Go All. We'll have somebody make it. White Rabbit says, Jason, at a time when they're attacking this movement, the character that you showed that just happened to get caught on national television, my hero. And White Hat said he'd take a bullet for all y'all Patriots. Thank you, White Hat. I would take a bullet for you too, buddy. Navy Vet says, knowing Jason, I am in tears. And Sergio Estevez says, howdy, I'm a photographer that took photos at the Arizona rally. I posted them on my Instagram at Estevez Sergio. Where can I send them? You can send them to redpill78@protonmail.com, and I'll make sure that they get to Jason so we can see them. And BCP said, John 13:34, a new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. This is what Jason is living and personifying. Thank you, sir. And Denise says, so very proud of you. I'm not crying. Did you ask Jason the question? I wonder, are you asking about the shirt? Before you go, I just want to everybody know that the Secret Service, or it wasn't Secret Service, it was somebody else in the Trump administration asked you to take the shirt off because they weren't allowing anybody to wear them. But it was only after you had carried that gentleman down. So you were so far away that they didn't notice you were wearing it until you started walking down those steps.
Or they might have. I think it's more about being in the spotlight of the camera the whole time. Mm-hmm. You know, they like to. What I did notice is they handed out a bunch of signs. They wanted, strategically placed, like Latinos for Trump, women for Trump, a bunch of the different signs in places. So, like I said, I don't know.
All right.
But they didn't bother me with it when I was down on the side or even in the front.
All right. Then Play for Dunham said, where we go one, we go all. And 27 Sparkles says, love my truthers united. Well, Jason, I just want to say one more time, man, thank you so much for choosing to come on our show and talk to us about it. I can't even convey with adequate words the feeling that I had when I saw you carrying that guy, and just knowing what a positive effect you were going to have. Just that one drop in the pond just caused a huge ripple. And Donald Trump said it himself. He said, even fake news CNN played that clip. Even fake news CNN played that clip. And I knew at that moment, I was like, this is bigger than any of us could have possibly imagined. And, and it's, it wasn't even meant to be.
We need to steamroll it, man. We need to take that energy and just keep going. This is, we talk about this shift of collective consciousness. Like we are the news now. We see it all the time. Me and Methods talk about it. That's one of the best things. Like they drop something and within minutes, man, you guys were on it. We're destroying their narrative. We're showing the real stuff, what's really going on.
Yeah.
So they can't stop it. Let's steamroll into it and, let's enjoy it. And, I love all you guys, man. And I'm just honored to be in this moment with you. And well, I'm going to tell you guys now, the notifications, I can't even keep up with the missed calls. And
welcome to my world.
If I did not answer something, guys, I apologize. I'm trying to get to them. I love all you guys the same, It's not one of us is more or less important than the other.
No.
Right?
No.
It's about us, right? And so, I want to take that moment to just let you guys know that, you are just as important as Red Pill or I or Methods or, Tootsie or Champs or anybody. You know, without you guys unconditionally loving me and supporting me, like I'm not me, right? Like I don't have this. I don't go on the boards. You guys know that. I don't even know how to read the clock. It's not like right? But I can say that. Like I've spent 5 minutes on the boards in the chans, and thank you guys I know you guys are a different breed in there. You guys are so cool, man. Like the work that they do in there, it's amazing. And so I don't get a chance to go in there and say thank you. I heard you guys were dropping some memes and stuff, so thank you guys, man. But collectively, because I built relationships with you guys, we do this together.
Mm-hmm.
We all figure it out. So I love you guys, man. I'm grateful to be a part of something, man. I really am.
I love you too, brother. I just want to say BCP's watching the show, and you can jump in at any time, buddy. So pop on in here. But Methods, did you have anything else that you wanted to ask Jason before he takes off?
Oh man, no. We'll talk again probably later tonight, if not in the morning, man. We're good. We got through what needed to be said. Everybody's been wanting to hear this story, so thank you, Jason, for coming on tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Red Pill, for allowing us to hop in,
sure,
and do this earlier today and all that. Because shameless plug, we do have Comfy Sunday this Sunday.
That's right.
And having our buddies Conscious Abe and Seasoned Pixels from the 5x5 Media Group come over and hang out with us, and we'll do that. But now I'm just excited to have BCP come on. He's definitely somebody that we've been looking forward to having on your show again. Or have you had him on before?
No, there was a mishap last time. He got super sick, and his wife ended up borrowing his phone while he was recuperating, and so we missed the show last time. But he's here tonight. BCP just jumped into the broadcast. You guys, I just want to say I just dropped Jason's Twitter and Jason's YouTube into the chat, so you follow my boy here, okay? Get on there.
Dude.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
All right. We'll see you, buddy.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna hop off here. BCP, good to see you, bud.
Cool.
Looking forward to listening to it. Red Pill, have a good night.
Yep.
YouTube chat, love you guys.
Thank you so much, Methods. I appreciate it. Oh, BCP, how about that story?
Man, I feel like totally inadequate. This is like the wrong night for you to have me on. I felt the love, but that's what this whole thing's about. I mean, I was smiling, Jason, I got to talk to Jason a little bit when we did the test call with Methods. You were out doing your thing as a pet parent, I guess. And Jess, I was like, Jason's a real deal. He's my brother and fellow Patriot.
Absolutely.
Even if we weren't a fellow Patriot, he would still be my brother.
Yeah.
But he's a little bit higher in the brotherhood because we share the same thing. And it's to me, a lot of people know that the original name of the channel still is Black Conservative Patriot, but we go by BCP now because it's not about color. That was just a shock the system when I first started the channel. But if you ask a leftist, you put up a picture of Jason, who looks like one of my friends, by the way, looks like a friend of mine named Mark, bearded, ex-con, and then you put me, the left would never ever associate us as being brothers, and they are totally wrong on that. Because freedom, liberty, all that transcends race, gender, all that nonsense. And I don't know, I think I was just really humbled by hearing Jason's story, and I got the feeling he was genuine from when I saw the video. I got the feeling he was genuine when I saw the interview he did. And I loved his question at the end.
I know, that was great. He snuck it in. She was like,
and then then getting to chat with him a little bit about a couple hours ago was awesome. And then now I'm just now composing myself emotionally to be in front of the camera.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. And you mentioned the identity politics, and I honestly, when I first saw your channel, I was like, yes, please. I hadn't even watched one of your videos. I signed up as a subscriber because you completely flipped the script on the identity politics. The left, they're going to say those 3 words in the title of a YouTube channel, and they're like, doesn't exist, does not compute, okay? And they kind of, just their brains melt. So, I guess what I wanted to start off with, I want to hear about your journey, how did you decide to start making videos? Was there like a moment when things just clicked for you? Have you always been conservative? We'll go through the whole thing.
Okay, all right. Let me start off with the first part of the channel, and then I'll go back to how I became a conservative, because no, I was brought up in a very leftist, big government household, and I brought my parents over to the conservative side probably about 10 years ago.
Cool.
Maybe somewhere along that route. But as far as the channel is concerned, I was a principal manager at a financial firm, and I started sharing stuff like on Facebook, and I did have the YouTube channel was under my name. And what happens when I got into management, we got acquired by a Wall Street firm. So then now we had like shareholders, we were a private company, we became a public company. So the social media policy became draconian and overbearing, and they want to know everything you were doing and what you were saying politically, because especially if you had manager or principal or executive director in the title of your name. So I said, okay, let me change this to something that's going to be not my name. Just, something I could share, but it was mostly my friends and family at this point anyway. It was me making videos in my backyard talking about, this is 2015. So the very first video, it's actually still there. It's an unlisted video, but it's my son recording on an iPhone 4, and me telling like how Hillary Clinton can never be president because she's such a bad liar about her emails. So that was like the first video I ever did. But then I had to change the name. But let me back up a second. Sure. I kind of had that in the background, but what I was really doing was I was on Instagram because I'm a busy guy. I had work at that time. My commute was fairly long into the northern part of San Diego County down into my office in San Diego. And so I got on Instagram because that was better for my ADD and my stuff, especially on the political things. I was going through it. And I also had this channel where I could talk about stuff. And when these new policies about social media from our new employer who had acquired our company came out, I was like, okay, I got to have something catchy. And I didn't show my face once I came up with this name, but I did. I came up with, a lot of people are going to laugh. I've always been, I'll tell you my story in a second as far as when I became a conservative, but I've always been like, I'm a hippie. Like I've never been a neocon. I've always been all about love, not war.
Right.
And so I said, okay, I don't want to be confused with a neocon. So the first name I came up with was Black Conservative Hippie. I know it sounds ridiculous now. BCH doesn't quite have the same.
No, it doesn't have the same ring.
But it didn't last very long. I had some friends on the left that were still, we would go back and forth on social media. These people are so hard left. I can't believe. I mean, we're still friends. A couple of them are still somewhat reasonable. And if you want to get into, I actually found out their motivations. A lot of them why they're Bernie supporters. Let's just say they got a lot of student debt. I'm talking about people with doctorates and multiple masters. So, as an economist, for those that aren't aware, I have a degree in economics and I've worked in finance and economics since I worked at Bank of America at the age of 21, and pretty much until last year when I left that to pursue my other business, our bread and butter business, the business that my wife and I have that pays the bills, if you will.
Cool.
So to make a long story longer, BCH didn't last very long. People were laughing at it. They didn't get the fact that the hippie part was not, I mean, I don't, I'm a libertarian for the most part,
Sure.
so everyone does their own thing, but I'm not the idea of a hippie. I no longer have dreadlocks. I used to have dreadlocks down here. Yeah, when I was a freshman at Berkeley, the few pictures I have, because it was before the digital age.
Right.
I had them long, then I cut my hair here, and they grew down here again. But yeah, I was a dreadlock guy. Fight the power, big government. Hey, government, solve every problem kind of kid.
Sure.
Over at Cal. So
and especially at Berkeley,
Oh yeah. That's a true story, and I'll get to that in a second if you really want to hear that.
Yeah.
But what motivated me as far as BCP was, when I got into Instagram, I was making like posts, and I was doing my own posts using like the meme creators, and I was making my own memes and stuff like that. So it started to take off. I had a couple thousand, 3,000, 4,000 people on Instagram. Then they moved the videos from 15 seconds to 1 minute. Like, oh, this is great. So I started making 1 minute videos because that was great for people with ADD.
Right.
But when you have a guy with Instagram that's still there, black.conservative.patriot on Instagram, and I started sharing these little 1 minute videos. But because of my employer, I was still kind of nervous. I would be off camera. I would talk. It's funny. If you want to see, it's the most ridiculous thing. People can go on it. It's still there. Someone goes, "You're not really black." So I made a video where I literally was like this, like holding something going, "Yes, I am," like running out, "Oh, I am black, sort of patriot. Here's my hand. It's black." And then people were so like, "Oh, whatever. You could have voiced it over." And you don't challenge me. I'm a little bit of a contrarian. So I'm going to come out like, oh yeah. So I started making videos. This is funny. With glass, like you could see me, my arms and like that, and I would have like a handkerchief over my face. It's ridiculous, Red. It's ridiculous. People can go on Instagram and see it. Just go all the way to the bottom.
Dude, I'm going.
Once because I grab a handkerchief and go, wait a minute, isn't that a kerchief for the Cub Scouts? I was a unit commissioner for the Boy Scouts of America.
It's golden, dude.
So I go, this is freaking ridiculous. So I just started showing my face and making videos, and then the 1 minute like limit was too short. People were like, BCP, you need to be on Twitter and you need to be on YouTube because we want to hear more from you. And we can tell you're cramming things into a minute. Sometimes you break them up in 2 or 3 videos. Just be on YouTube. And I already had the channel, and I actually changed the name because I didn't want to have any problems with the employer.
Sure.
I switched. Like a headhunter, executive headhunter came and grabbed me and recruited me to be a VP of another bank. So they were pretty strict as well. When I finally like doxed myself and reveal who my employer is, let's just say the person at that bank is in an interesting way connected to Trump. So it wasn't they were against my politics, but because it's divisive, they didn't like that.
Sure.
So I just kept it on the DL. So that's kind of how the name went from black sort of hippie to black sort of patriot. BCH didn't last very long. I'm talking a matter of weeks. But I got into YouTube because people wanted to hear me more than just 1 minute or have to go through several, threads, watch 2 or 3 videos back to back to get what I was saying.
Sure.
But when I first started coming out, another reason why I wasn't like totally vocal is I was talking about things like, what would be considered Pizzagate or Pedalgate, which, it's what everyone wants to say. But I was using facts and actual mainstream media to show that there has been a culture of pedos in high places, Hollywood, DC. This is a known thing. If you live in Southern California, this is a known thing. I have 4 children. 3 of my children, actually at this point, probably all of my children, but especially my daughters, were approached to be on television. We have friends in the entertainment industry that are writers for big, they're studio writers for big. I live in Southern California. I mean, this is not totally uncommon where I live. My neighbor across the street, if I told you what show he was on, you would be like, "Oh, I told you to watch that show as a kid." I told you, "Oh my gosh!" So these are people that I know. They're like friends or acquaintances or neighbors, and they've asked my kids to be on television or in like. And I always told my wife. My wife's from Mexico, and she doesn't know like the pervy nature of this thing. I said, "There's no way in hell my kids are being involved in any way, shape, or form in the entertainment industry."
Good for you.
Yeah. So So I was very much aware of that. So that's what I was talking about in the beginning. And so that's kind of like how I was, you know, that I wouldn't say I was like David Seaman, who was like at that time, one horse pony, like, you know, yes. put S. I wasn't that guy. I was talking about a lot of things, but that was the thing that people kind of gravitated towards. So, so it was very smart that at that time I didn't show my face or what have you. I mean, P-Gate, if people don't believe me, you can go down to my November 2nd or November 1st, 2016 thing where I say Trump is going to win, vote for him tomorrow or vote for him next week. And by the way, if you're not aware, the whole entire Hillary camp is involved in pedophilia. I said that back at the end of 2016, and I alluded to that even earlier in other videos I had made. So anyway, so that's why for a long time I didn't show who I was. But once I started getting to the more mainstream politics, which is what I've always been into, you know, I showed my face, especially with the new employer, which they weren't as draconian, they weren't as big brother over the shoulder on social media. So that's kind of how BCP came about. Obviously, it grew. I had a video late October of 2015, and it was where no one else had picked up on it, but Chuck Grassley talked about how the resistance was so deep in Capitol Hill that they were even asking senators and people, you know, within the legislature to lie about Kavanaugh. And that video has 1 million views.
Wow.
And that's kind of what took me from about like 20-something thousand subscribers. In like 90 days, they hit 100,000. And so it's been a nice growth. But of course, the powers that be have now put they put a kibosh on that. They've slowed down the throttle. But yeah, it's been fun. And the community is awesome. So that's the story of the BCP brand so far.
That's great. That's great. Let me go over some super chats while we got that natural segue. Let's see. So we
wait. I need a wardrobe change.
Oh, you go ahead. Go ahead. There we go. Let's see. So, we missed a couple from the tail end of Jason. 7 Miracles, thank you for that super chat. Rising and Shouting says, I'm crying. Are you happy now? Keystone Channel said, you are hope, Jason. Worldwide Patriots here. Phil Denman said, Jason should be on the show nightly. That he's got his own show, you guys. I put that in there. Jordan Brown says, where we go one, we go all. Jason, you're awesome, man. Godspeed, Patriots. Q-Wife Maga Life says, hiya, BCP. Can you believe it's been 12 years this month? Much love to you and yours, Tim and Lori.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, Tim and Lori, good to have you on here. Big hug.
That's funny. Tim and Lori have been longtime watchers of my program too, so that's cool that you guys know each other. Chris Hawkins says,
really know each other, like in the flesh, gotta know each other. Yeah,
I figured that was it. Chris Hawkins asked if we're doing call-ins. Yes, you guys, we are having call-ins in the second hour, so at 11 o'clock, I'll open up the phones. Baby Yoda says, thank you, BCP and Red and Methods chatting the Patriots too. Thank you for that. Kimberly Marsh says, great show tonight. I love our Patriots show, Red Pill and BCP. I watch you both every day. Much love. Thank you, Kimberly. Sandy Zeiss says, this is my dream team. I've been hoping you two would get together. Awesome. It's been my dream as well, Sandy, so glad to see that he's here. Nathan Krause says, love BCP, where we go one, we go all. Keep America Godly says, darkness to light, all will be revealed, a promise from the beginning of time. Denise says, stop, I'm running out of Tina Lady Pants. I guess we're making people pee their pants. Frank says, I love watching you fellow Patriots. I consider RP78 and BCP my great friends that met digitally and watch daily. Let's keep it up, friends, because we are winning. I thank both of you for your excellent work. We are the news now. And Josh from Detroit says, BCP, great to see you on Red Pill 78. Love you both. Thank you guys, all of you, for the super chats. But
awesome. Hey, Baby Yoda, I hope Baby Yoda gave him a shout out earlier tonight on Quite Frankly's show.
Right on, man.
It was me, Tracy Beans, Methods was in there, Baby Yoda. We're all kind of trolling the chat. That was kind of fun. Right
on, sweet, dude. Yeah, Baby Yoda, big friend of the program. Love to have him here.
Oh yeah, I'm aware because when I watch the show. So Baby Yoda's always got something to say. So.
Yes, he does. So you just said that YouTube finally caught up with you. You know, they finally started suppressing you. And we were talking privately before, and you said that there was a noticeable slowdown on your views. Has your subscriber growth been pretty steady this entire time, or have they like cut that first?
Oh yeah, no, that was first. That was first. And I'll talk about it a little bit. I talked about, I've mentioned a little bit here, but I don't want to track negativity, so I don't want to go on too much longer. But yeah, I brought it up, so I'm just saying. But I mean, when I'm an economist and I work statistics, I work on econometrics, okay? And I was an investment banker and I crunch numbers. That's what I did and live for a living. I used to have my own financing company where I would finance spec home building. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm a numbers guy. I'm not that kind of brainy numbers guy, but it's math. It's not algebra. It's not
Sure.
calculus. You know,
I like statistics myself. So.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, I'm tracking the trends, you know, using Excel, using, you know, basic tools. And with the original growth rate, I would have been over 1 million subscribers by now.
Wow.
I'm at 400 something thousand. And it was like 30, 40, 50, 60,000 subs a month. Then it got halved to 30 and we stayed there for a while. Then it was like 20 something. And then it went down to 3,000, literally from 20,000 a month to 3,000. I think last month I added 1,800.
Wow.
And I've had some days where they say I have negative growth.
Oh,
so,
wow.
But then, you know, if you look at the back analytics, they tell you like how much of a mix you have from subscribers, from people, you know, clicking through the, you know, the YouTube system, if you will, suggested videos, all that kind of stuff. And the math doesn't make sense because it just doesn't make sense. So either one of two things are happening. The numbers they're reporting are, for some reason, hey bots, for some reason there's an error there, or there's some kind of shenanigans going on. So, you know, I'll leave it up to the family to decide which of the one is happening. But I'm having fun. I feel the love, like, you know, with Jason on. This is a community. That's why my subscribers, I call them BCP family. Right before Christmas, I paid for an event at a San Diego hotel. I rented out the suite, had people come in. We had my wife. I brought my whole family, so people could see it really is a family. So I was wearing BCP shirts, my wife, my kids, brought a really good friend out to help as well. And former business partner was there as well. And some of my family was in the crowd as well, but being very silent, you know, just for our protection. Sure. It was great. We had my wife kept tabs. My children said it was almost 150. My wife, who has a degree in accounting, said it was 139. So I'm going to guess that it was 139.
Okay. Probably. Well, that's really cool, dude. I mean, we talked about that a little bit before. You know, I can't even imagine. I mean, I've just never even considered like throwing a party for people that watch the show. I mean, because I mean, this was never something that I ever anticipated in my life. I'm going to be going to the Red Pill Expo at Jekyll Island, Georgia, which is like the weekend of June 5th and 6th. And, you know, I'm already a little apprehensive about it, like thinking about, you know, going someplace and having people recognize me. I really enjoy my anonymity, and I live in an area where nobody knows who I am, and it's perfect. I like it that way. Have you run into anybody? I mean, Southern California is densely populated. I mean, have you run into people who watch you?
Yeah, this is what I got an indication that the numbers were off. Literally, I had a month where I felt like someone famous because everywhere I went, it's kind of funny. I went to a restaurant. The first one was at Costco, sitting having a pizza at Costco with my daughter, and someone comes up. You're still on the mic, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, my dog was scratching the door. I had to let her in.
Costco, someone recognized me and actually turned to be a neighbor. Then nothing happened for a while, but then it started really compounding. I went to a restaurant to celebrate my daughter's, I don't know, 17th birthday or whatever. Kind of, I guess like now I'm kind of aging myself, but my daughter's birthday, kind of milestone, getting close to being an adult. And the server came and went, and then came back, and then she said, "Oh, my manager wants to talk to you." And then I could see him beaming from like far away, and I could just tell he's like, "Oh my gosh." So I got up and I gave him a hug, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, BCB, I can't believe you're here." So let's just say that I didn't have to pay for my entire meal. That's happened to me a couple times now where I haven't had to pay for my meal. It's kind of weird.
Wow.
I can pay for my meal, but you know, they insist that or they, you know, they caught me, dessert or something.
Sure.
So then I got recognized. The weirdest one was about 10 months ago, I was in London, and I was hoping to be there for Brexit Day. So I was there. I was in Paris with my family on vacation. I also went to go see the Yellow Vest stuff. Very interesting. I made a video on it. Of course, YouTube took it down quick, fast, and in a hurry. You can't see the video. Got blocked worldwide.
Wow.
But I went to go see the Yellow Vest movement, and then I did that before, you know, vacation. I'm a numbers guy. I could also write off part of my vacation because I am covering legitimate news events. Went over, was hoping to have a Brexit, didn't happen. So we just went to a Chinese restaurant by the flat that they had rented for those 10 days. And I'm sitting there, and I had made a video earlier that day, and I was still wearing my, I remember it was the Savage It's just a sweatshirt my wife got me. It says Savage in gold letters.
Yeah.
And I was walking by, and someone goes, the most awesome, prettiest, proper British female accent goes, BCP, and like nuts. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of freaking London in a Chinese restaurant. It was so random. Turned around. She was there with her whole family. Her whole family followed me.
Wow.
Came, so there was hugs and kisses all around. They met my wife. They met my kids. It was just awesome. That was very weird. But yeah, I've been recognized here in Southern California. Actually, a lot of fans. Almost every time I go to Disneyland, I have a pass. I have an annual pass to Disneyland, so I go at least once, twice a month. Disneyland, the movies. I got recognized in the Bahamas. Got recognized in Florida. Got recognized on a cruise. So yeah, I've been recognized. It is strange, but for the most part, I'm still anonymous. I mean, it's not like, and you do too, Red. You've got followers all over the world.
Yeah.
So we're still a small community, but it is funny, and it is interesting. It is cool because, and if anyone ever does meet me, if you come up to me and you look like I can hug you, I'm gonna hug you because I'm Latino. Like I'm half black, half Puerto Rican, and our culture is we hug and kiss everybody.
Yeah.
Plus, in my family, through marriage and remarriage, I've got Italians, we've got Jews, we've got Muslims, we've got everyone in my family. My family is the United Nations. So, and also, like, especially like on my Italian family members, it's always hugging and kissing. My Puerto Rican and Mexican family is always hugging and kissing. So if you see me in public, feel free to, let me know, hey, BCP. So I don't think that you're trying to mug me, but then that's how I am. And you can't really tell by scale. I know that President Trump is calling him Mini Mike, but Mini Mike is actually taller than me.
Are you on a box right now?
No box.
Okay.
My
No,
boxer, perhaps.
we wouldn't know. I never would have guessed. I mean, like on the camera. It's like
it's a scale.
Yeah. That's so awesome.
The first thing I did when I got up on the mic, I go, "Hey, everybody, I'm BCP." I actually gave everyone my name. I said, please don't record, don't take pictures of my family, whatever. This is my name. And then I said, and I know all of you are thinking, dang, I didn't know BCP was so short.
Oh, that's so funny. We had a couple more super chats. Thank you, Nicoletta Trumpy Bear. James Rohrback says he always gets a good vibe from BCP. Me too. This is one of the reasons why I love you, because I mean, you can deliver the news. You've got excellent commentary, but you're such a genuine person. I mean, you can always tell when somebody is like playing a character on a channel or something like that. But like this is you.
Yeah.
Also, Navy Vet said.
Can I comment to that?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Yeah. The when I was looking at growing up, I said, okay, this YouTube thing, this might work. So, let me look at this. And everyone says, don't try to copy someone else. Don't try to be someone else. Be yourself. Be genuine. I said, okay, well, that makes sense. Which I don't know how to do that any other way. And here's the advice I give my kids. I give my kids that we talk about like being a fake or whatever. See, I'm pragmatic, and I like the path of least resistance. And when you're fake, you've always got to be fake. Mm-hmm. That is way too much damn work for me or for anybody. So it just behooves you to just be yourself and not lie, because then you have to cover up a lie after a lie of a lie. And if you're fake, you have to remember, who am I with these people? Who am I with that people?
Right.
I don't have the energy for that. I'm too lazy for that. So for me, being genuine it's besides all the things that it's the right thing to do, pragmatically, it's the easiest thing to do. It's a path of least resistance.
Exactly. It's the same thing for myself. I wouldn't be able to keep up with it. The only thing that's fake is the bricks on the wall. And I got to tell everybody, I thought that those bricks were real until he told me, wait, did you get real bricks now? Oh, man. Daddy Dragon says, London, England. We love you in England. Daddy Dragon is in England. So,
hey, Daddy Dragon, I'm going to be there hopefully before the end of the year. I've been asking my, by the way, letting it out a little bit. I'm working on something for my British brothers and sisters Patriots. I think they're going to like it. But I do want to go out again. I didn't make it this last Brexit day because was it really going to happen? I just can't be hopping on a transatlantic flight all the time.
Sure.
I've been blessed. I did hit 4 countries in the last few months. But anyway, I want to go back there again. So if anyone has knows of an awesome event, that would be, because I would do the same thing. I'll throw a BCP party in London. But if someone can suggest when would be a good time to come out, hopefully sometime in the late summer or early autumn would be ideal, because I'm pretty busy between now and then, maybe even after the elections. But if someone could give me a good event that would be a good reason to go there, and also couple that with the BCP family reunion, just hit me up on Twitter on that. @black_C_Patriot.
You could just do a BCP speaking tour, dude. You know, I mean, like, set it up. There's got to be somebody who would be willing to put all that together. Somebody, the Keystone Channel just said, can he come to Amsterdam too? You know, so.
Oh, I love Amsterdam. Yeah, actually, I was almost going to be there March 13th through the 17th, but my boy, who's really big in Scouts, this is his last year that he's going to be active in Scouts. Something came up, so I do plan to be in Amsterdam. Probably when I go to London, it'll be part of a Amsterdam, Prague, Lisbon, London tour. So
that's
Amsterdam
amazing.
is actually on my. And for those my European brothers and sisters know this, that once you're in Europe, it's fairly easy and inexpensive to travel in between countries, because they're so small, so close together. So it sounds like, wow, you're balling it because you're going to 4 countries. It's $85. You know?
Sure, you hop on a Euro rail or something like that.
Or you take a Euro pass. Yeah, exactly. I've done that as well. So.
I've never been to Europe. I mean, like, I've always had to work. I've always had my daughter. You know, now that she's 18, there's a little bit more flexibility. So, like, I would love to go to Europe.
4?
No, I turned 42 this year. 42. So yeah, I was a pup, but not too young. And then Courtney N said, Jason, BCP, Red Pill, and Methods, thank you all for representing our movement so well. Proud of you all, and God bless. Love my Patriot family. And then, one more from Daddy Dragon. He says, BCP, please say the Constitution is the solution, you Marxist Muppets.
The Constitution is the solution, you Marxist Muppets.
That's great. He says, yes, I can sort. Oh, he says he can sort out the event with Roseanne. That's right, because he's going to be having Roseanne Barr come there to speak. She was just obviously on the show the other day, but that would be pretty sweet if you were to headline.
By the way, that was an awesome segment.
Well, thank you.
With Roseanne, yeah, that was very good. And I was telling Methods, I really enjoyed that.
I had a great time. I'm glad that everybody else did too. I was worried that I was just going to be fanboying it the whole time because it was
even like Sean SGT, he says, I'm fan. I think he's the one he called in and goes, I'm fanboying to hear Sean say that, because he's so low key.
He is. Yeah. That was exciting to see so many people I respect from YouTube, you know. I mean, just everybody was there. It was great.
By the way, I do have to give a shout out to Sean at SGT. He was one of the first ones when I was like less than 20,000 subs to promote my channel. So yeah. Thank you, Sean, if you're watching. I do appreciate that. So yeah, I want to throw that in there. He was one of the first people, and even to give me Patreon support. So I appreciate that. So thanks to Sean. SGT Report, one of the best OG channels, if not the best OG channel on YouTube.
I agree, and this Sean did the same thing for me. I mean, he didn't hit me on Patreon, but he posted my stuff on his websites, and he talked about me in a video. But I mean, that SGT is how I heard about you. I mean, I want to say that I subbed when you had like 17,000. I mean, it was under 20,000. So yes, but so that's why I was interested in your growth, dude, because I just saw it skyrocket. I was like, one day you were here, and the next day you were here. I was like, well, that is awesome. Frank says, BCP, I could see you on cable TV news and blow away Sean Hannity's ratings, but maybe you're better off here unfiltered with the family members instead. What do you think?
Yeah, you and I have talked about this, Red. I'm not going to go into details on why or what have you, but I've been on Hollywood studio lots, and I'll just leave it at that. You know, but I got a good education on how traditional news works. No, I'm not going to be on the news. I have no personal desire to be a television network, whatever. I do like the interwebs. This is more my style. I'm not very structured. People know that over the last, who've been with me for a while, like, that, I've been in finance, but one thing, the untold story is I've mostly been self-employed most of my adult life, which is very funny because I was the guy that, my mother worked for Merrill Lynch, and I was like, I'm going to be on that corporate ladder. But it's too stressful. And I like the path of least resistance. I like to add value. I'm a capitalist. Don't get me wrong. path of least resistance doesn't mean that you're lazy or you don't want to work or give, sweat equity. What I'm saying is that I'm not the kind of guy I'm not a good employee. I play well with others, but I like to do things my own way.
I feel you.
So I said all that to say something that I totally forgot what I was doing.
I'm the same way.
About being on television. Yeah. So I couldn't have that structure of like getting up in the morning, going, and maybe it was a weekly show perhaps, but sitting there in the makeup and then like this, and then there's a lot of downtime too. I saw the taping of a new segment this week in one of the studios, and it was like, the camera's off and they're showing the commercial. One anchor's like on their iPhone reading stuff, and then like it's like this. I was like, seriously? Like that's not me. And then the other anchor's like this the whole time. The lights come on. It's like, I can't. I can't. And I don't know how well I would do live as well. I mean, I do live chats, and this is live or what have you. But being told what to say, you can have writers and all sort of stuff, which is great. I'd like to grow this what I have and bring more people to help me. But not that I'm a control freak, but I want to keep it familial and less corporate. That's just my thing. So now, if Trump starts a Patriot, if there's a Patriot network, then
sign me up.
Y'all out there, and I'm now interested. Okay, forget everything I just said.
Trump TV, I would totally do it too. Red Pill Doc says, "Tell MAGA Kitten hello. She's watching." Yeah, she snuck her way in here. And then let's see. Oh, Santafia says, "Huge fan. Thank you both for all you do. Have you considered inviting Dr. Stephen Greer?" I'm familiar with Dr. Stephen Greer, but I don't know that he would want to do this channel. I'm let's just say I'm fairly certain that he's not a Republican. Joey Fountain says, "I love you both. BCP, please don't wear the same frayed pocket square from today in your video." Chris Hawkins says, "Curse you, Red Pill. I noticed the bricks are real now. There goes my whole bit for the call-in. Love the bricks." Crushing the Losers of the Lying Left says, "I love seeing the Brotherhood, BCP, quite frankly, X22 Report, LTN, we know, SGT, and others. Where we go one, we go all." Yeah, this is a great family to be a part of, I mean, when you had your kind of transition, to conservatism, what was it that made you stop and think that, say maybe big government isn't the idea?
Okay, this is I think people will enjoy the story if they haven't heard it yet. My walk away. So I grew up in a leftist household. My uncle was a Black Panther, very active Black Panther. My father's a convert to the Black Muslim movement. So that's kind of like what a lot of those kinds of leftists,
hardline
are all about the problems and crying about the problems and the injustice. But the solutions always seem government should do something about that. So even as a kid, I'm like, oh yeah, the government is unfair. The government should do something about that. Even I at 16, 17, 18 saw the irony behind that. But I still thought of the government as a bunch of civil servants who were altruistic, who want to help us. Okay. Right. I was the kind of guy that said, I was a kid. I was brought up, we were in a union household as well, just working class household. So I was taught, that the government should do this and that, and oh yeah, FDR was the greatest president. When I red pilled myself on FDR, it was a moment, let me tell you. So that's a mentality I went with and I had. So I went to UC Berkeley, and for those not aware, if there is a school that has a reputation for being left, where being a Marxist is too right for some people, and that's the place I wanted to go there. So I went there. So I'm an 18-year-old, got my dreadlocks, got my Fight the Power T-shirt. I still wear them because I haven't changed. I still believe in fighting the power that be, except now I realize who the actual guilty parties are. Let's just say that.
Sure.
So here I am with my Fight the Power. Everything's an injustice. And I'm here on UC Berkeley campus. Now, those who are familiar with UC Berkeley, they have this part called Sproul Plaza, and that's where all the activities take place. That's where someone can run up to you and say, "Hey, come to my Korean Christian congregation," and then someone else is telling you, "Oh, it's about Hare Krishna," and then someone else is telling you, join our lesbian outreach program. It's a liberal school. I liked it. It was very vibrant, very a lot of dialogue and what have you. Now in high school, I worked hard to get into UC Berkeley. I was at the top of my class. I was number one. The number one guy went to Berkeley. The number three gal also went to Berkeley. And, you know, I was in speech and debate club and team president and captain. I say all this just not to impress anyone, but to impress upon everyone that I worked in high school to be able to get into UC Berkeley because one, I wanted to go there, and two, I needed to get some sort of scholarship or something. So I had to work hard in high school.
Sure.
My parents couldn't afford, you know, really the tuition, and it's so expensive living in the Bay Area. So I worked my tushy off in high school to get into UC Berkeley. No, I wasn't number one or the top 5 in my class, but I was up there. So I get to Cal, and I'm talking to someone, and this very pretty blonde co-ed comes up to me, and you know, I'm 18. I love all girls, all women, Asian, Black,
as
Latina,
you should.
You know, so very pretty blonde co-ed comes up to me and was talking to me. She goes, and then this is what she said to me. She said, "That is so cool. They let you into Berkeley because you're Black."
What?
Okay, so now we have 2 problems here. Okay, one, she made it a race issue.
Yeah.
And 2, it was a pretty co-ed saying that. So it was a blow to the ego, and it was a blow to the male ego. So it was a double whammy.
It's like a mind ripper.
So literally, I remember sitting back going, "Is that how she sees me?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how they see me?" They meaning the other students. So from that moment, I said, you know what? I'm just going to shut up and observe. So finally, I take my mom's advice. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion.
Mm-hmm.
So I just start to observe, and I start to observe that the white liberal, and I say white liberal because I know people get uncomfortable when it comes to race and that kind of stuff, but hear me out here.
Yeah.
The white liberal idea is that, and I'm making a generalization here, I understand, but I do believe that this is the liberal mentality as a whole, even if these are Black liberals or Hispanic liberals speaking, that Blacks and Hispanics aren't as good as whites, and we need to lower the standards, and we need to coddle them because 1, they're not smart enough, 2, they're not civilized enough. I mean, I've heard white liberals make excuses for horrific and horrendous savagery done by MS-13, Black thugs, and say, hey, they don't have the same, you know, hey, I'm an American, I'm a Black American, I have the same culture as you, I have the same right or wrong. Don't look down on me or give me a lower bar just because I'm Black. I found that to be very insulting.
Yeah.
You add insult to injury by having a cute blonde co-ed out of those words. And I think it was, I honestly think it was Providence that double whammy happened. So I just started to observe. And of course I was studying economics and history. And I quickly realized, especially with studying Mao, as you cannot implement socialism, Marxism, communism, Marxism in any form without brute force. Millions of people have died, and it's the same crap. It's the elitists that do not live by the same rules that they push down on the proletariat. So I was like, this is ridiculous. So this is literally within a span of a few weeks. And I can even tell you, this was in the early part of the year, because this happened. I remember seeing this happened after I came back from Christmas break. So my first semester, I was still a hard leftist. By the beginning of my second semester as a freshman, my eyes are starting to open. And then the biggest thing that hit me, so I sort of realized that there are people who are just disingenuous and they're trying to virtual signal. And in their hearts of hearts, they may mean well, but they look down on me. They think they're better than me just on pure race. I'm in the same school as them. That's another reason why, as a Black person, this is part of my pride. I know pride's a sin, but that's why I really don't like these quotas and affirmative action, things like that. I think it maybe had its time, but not now, because then people make the assumption that you got in under lower standards. And that is not fair to me, who worked my tushy to get in there. And it's not fair for anyone to be able to even make that assumption. If they have a clear, fair playing field, then we can assume that we're all on an equal level, right? Right. So the other big opening, and this is kind of what really hit me, is they had Black History Month. And I'm not going to go into detail, but let's just say that Betty Shabazz, the wife of Malcolm X, the widow of Malcolm X is a man that I respect and I like. Obviously, I'm not a Muslim. I have nothing to do with the Black Muslim movement. I don't believe in that. But there are certain things about him that I thought was cool, like being a man, right? And he was talking about the Democrats back then, saying how, he was talking about the white liberals. So I was studying that. That helped with my awakening. I had to reread the book. I read it in high school, but on a different mindset. And then I'm reading it again going, how did I miss all this the first time?
Right.
And, just reading his stuff. And I get into let's just say a debate with Betty Shabazz. And all she said was a whole bunch of things and words and rhetoric, got all the women and all the blacks and all the virtual signaling students all up cheering and happy, but she wasn't saying anything of substance. She wasn't talking facts. She was talking about feelings. She wasn't offering any solutions to the problems. It's always whine, this problem, and then no solutions. And then everyone is bad. And then, of course, being from Harlem, back up a little bit, I was born in Harlem, New York, so lived the first half of my childhood. I moved to California. I consider myself a Californian. I'm here in Southern California. On the other side of this wall is Mexico. Actually, that's true because that's south over there.
That's right.
So I grew up in a fairly black and Hispanic thing. But when I came to see Betty Shabazz, she was just talking rhetoric, and I realized that this is how they brainwash people. They just get them all emotional. I still had to learn about the arguments of ethos and logic and all that. I hadn't learned that yet. But I figured that out on my own, that they were just moving people and getting them all riled up on emotion with nothing of substance. So that was kind of my awakening. By the time I turned 19, I would say I was a classic liberal or libertarian. Classic liberal as far as like, hey, or I guess a libertarian, hey, look, as long you have the right to do what you do until you're infringed on my personal rights. Yeah. I absolutely fell in love with the Constitution and limited government. And the reason why I said in New York, the mafia owned the businesses around us. We know who they are. We knew who they were when they walked around. We know who these actors were. And I came to the realization that there are crooks everywhere. Yeah. And if you wanted to be the best kind of crook, of course you would go into government because you get to make the rules yourself. Like I realized that, and before I turned 19, and that's what I realized. That's why government is inefficient, because you have people only in it for themselves. These are not civil servants that are doing everything out of altruism. These are 1, crooks, 2, egomaniacs, and a very small section of people that want to do good for their community. So the best way to avoid all these problems is have a limited government.
Exactly. My master's degree is in public administration, and I got it specifically for that reason, so that I could, attempt to have some sort of effect in that way. Because I
dropped out of my master's PA program.
Oh God. What did you end up going in?
Actually, I should say it was like a week before it started, because I was working in finance, and for a while I was like, I'm happy in the private sector. I mean, I worked in investment banking, and I won't say that because it'll be taken wrong. But let's just say this: You can make a lot of money, but it's very, very stressful.
Yeah,
and you have no life. And I said, and then I had some friends that had gone into public administration, and where they did fairly well because, of course, not that they're crooks, but the government sets up the people at the top make pretty good money, and they don't work too many hours to get everything off. They work 9 to 5, they get everything off. They had cushy stuff. I said, you know what? I'm getting, I was in my late 20s, maybe early 30s at the time. And I said, you know what? It's not too long ago. I said, you know what? Maybe I should just take a break from all this and go into PA. So I got into a program a week before, met with the things. I go, you know what? I don't want to go back to school. I don't want to do this. I am making good money. And now that I have a management title, it's not as bad as it was before. So that's why I dropped out. But I don't think I would have done well at all in that field.
The closer that I got to actually graduating, like the less and less I actually wanted to pursue it. Because I started, that was like really at the point when I started looking at more of, the behavior of the left and, what I had seen and who these people were that were going into administrative government. And I just realized like how far my views had diverged from what they had been previously. I was also raised a Democrat, and it was during the Obama years, and I just became completely disillusioned with that whole thing. But then, I too have also owned businesses throughout the majority of my adult life. It's, web design and graphic design, sign production. And so, by the time I graduated, I was like, do I really want to leave this opportunity to be my own boss and work my own hours? And, the answer is no, and so this is great. I mean, I love being able to work on my own schedule and hang out with the family. I mean, it's a much better way of life,
Preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
And for those, I want to give, I know this is more a political thing, but as far as like business or personal development advice, once you make the jump, it's better to make less money working for yourself than to make more money as an employee. Just for this, it's a different kind of stress. Some people are afraid of because, what if I fail or whatever like that. The best thing to do is actually have a side hustle that starts to, that when you make the jump, it's not a total sink or swim thing.
Right.
But even if you don't have that ideal situation, I had a point where I just cold turkey left to start a business. I had very little in the bank here, 2 toddlers and my wife. And I said, you know what, we're going to go for it. Yeah. And it was a gamble. But this is America. You can always get a job. People are always so scared about losing a job. You can, especially in this economy. So if you're thinking about it, you work out a plan. I mean, don't just be dumb and just quit your job and then go and then think about a business. Formulate a business plan. Make sure it's viable. If you got a chance to go for it, because it is the liberty of working for yourself is so much better than working, even if you make less money. And of course, the secret is when you're an employee, you get your paycheck after they take the taxes out. When you have your own business, you get all this revenue. You have a whole bunch of expenses, and then you pay taxes on what's left over. It's the tax structure in the United States and probably in every Western country, I'd imagine, is set up for the business owner, for the wealthy. And at the end of the day, you may find that even though you make less money, you may actually get to take more of it home. Exactly.
Yeah. Far greater benefit. Let's see. Nicoletta Trumpy Bear, thank you for that super chat.
Talk to your tax advisor.
Oh, yeah.
Before.
Always.
This is not financial advice. I know nothing. I'm a moron. Don't listen to anything I just said.
Thank you, Nicoletta Trumpy Bear. JMRS Desk says, Michael Ray brought me here, enlightened and loving it. Thank you, Michael Ray, for bringing new viewers. Let's see. Q Wife Maga Life said, Berkeley ate my daughter. Mike Q says, God bless you. Need to get iPot on here too. BCP, you're amazing. RP78, keep up the great work. Dark to Light, the best is yet to come. For some reason, iPot is unable to do live streams. I've definitely approached him. Jerry T says, can both of you, RP and BPC, say Trump 2020 landslide at the same time? Jerry from Miami Beach. Are you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Trump 2020 landslide.
And by the way, President Trump will win re-election more than the 270 electoral college votes he did in 2016 because he's a known commodity now. And we don't have to take a chance on Trump. Trump. So Trump is the real deal. We know that now. So a lot more people who, first of all, were on the Democrat plantation and has since left, and also people that were just not willing or quite ready to cast their vote for him in 2016, who consider themselves Republicans or conservatives or libertarians, now feel a lot more comfortable doing so. And here's the big one that's going to shock the left and is going to totally blow them away and will essentially be the end of their tyranny, at least for the foreseeable future. Over 20% of Black Americans will vote for Trump in 2020.
Do you think you really don't think it's going to be more than that? I saw.
I said at least.
At least. Okay. I heard
at
the
least. At least. I've been saying that I think it'll be a solid third. Just from different things I've seen. But I don't trust polls. But I did once take a whole bunch of averages of a whole bunch of polls I saw, put them in Excel, and had to spit out a number, and it was like 28.9. So I figured,
nice.
About a third. But I don't know how comprehensive those were. I was looking at Rasmussen. I was looking at Fox polls. I was looking at was it Syracuse? I can't remember a couple of the polls that when I went back seemed to be fairly accurate in 2016.
Okay.
And so I kind of it was a jerry-rigged way of doing it. It wasn't very scientific or thorough, but it kind of satisfied me that it'll be a third. But I feel very comfortable saying that at least 1 in 5 Blacks are going to end up voting for Trump. I believe it may be even as high as 1 1/3. Just a lot of people that just for whatever reason are not going to vote or still will vote traditional. But I think that there's a lot more people that are even woke or awakened that still might go for D that really know that they should go for Trump.
I mean,
Trump doesn't pander. He doesn't pander to blacks. Imagine that. Wow.
What about anecdotally? I mean, you're active on Facebook. I mean, you live in Southern California. I mean, have you seen a shift among people that you know, your friends, people in the community?
Yeah. See, what happens is because everyone that knows me personally knows my political, because I've always been. I mean, can you imagine in 2008, I'm telling everyone, do not vote for this fraud Marxist coming in. We know nothing about him. He smells like CIA to me. Do you know how conspiratorial that sounded in 2008?
Yeah.
And we have the chance to have the first black president, first biracial president. I mean, he is half white, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't play plots. I was beyond. I go, so what? The guy could be my twin. If he's my evil twin, I still don't want him being president of the United States, even if he looks just like me. But I'm a pragmatist. That's just how I think. I could see the rhetoric and the persona and this savior mania people had about, but there was no substance. Junior senator. How come we don't know anything about him? How come everything that came up, Reverend Wright, everything that was happening was being calm? So anyway, people in my family and circle of friends knew where I stood politically for a long time. So it's hard for me to see the shift because for the most part, people who are already on the left were on the left, people who are on the right. And I haven't seen a big shift. Now, people that I know not so intimately, yes, I've seen more of the shift in them.
Okay. We're hit the 11 o'clock hour, so I just want to let everybody know that we are going to be opening up the phone lines in just a second. The meeting ID is going to be on the screen in just a moment. Let me just shift it over for you guys, and we'll put it down here next to me. All right, so let me throw the link into the chat box. You guys can jump in using Zoom on your computers or on your phones. There's the link if you want to join through the app. Here is the meeting ID if you want to join through your telephone. And then here is the phone number that you can call. Actually, I'm just going to let you guys get the phone number off the screen. It's a lot easier that way. Social Observer says, what do you think about Twitter initiating a social credit score and internet censorship in general?
Okay. There's moments, and I'm sure it's all of us, where we go, oh my gosh, we are living 1984.
Oh, yeah.
Like we've been using the term Orwellian to the point where it's almost blasé.
Yeah.
But like we're really living in Orwellian world. And then a lot of us know this has been coming. They've been talking about it. We've been seeing reports of this, but now that it's official on the big thing, the first thing I'm thinking of is, well, I guess all that fear mongering that I was talking about, how we were going to have too much Chinese influence, has come to fruition.
Oh, yeah.
For those that don't know, China has a social credit score, which even determines where you can travel, if you're allowed to go outside of your city, if you say things against it affects your credit, what you can buy, where you can live. I mean, it's this whole apocalyptic thing with the chip and the tracking and the mark of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
That is social credit.
Yeah.
That is the whole social credit score. And it was a matter of time. Almost surprised they didn't do it earlier. Honestly, I'm surprised that this is when they're doing it. Okay, all right, but it's been a long time coming. But there's some days where I feel like my actual life really is the Matrix. And I'm sure everyone else feels like that, especially with your cool background, Red.
Yeah.
I go, really. And then I saw the things with the verified, and who are the people that are going to fact check Reuters and all that? How many times have I debunked Reuters on my little channel? I'm a one-man show in Southern California,
right,
on 2 computers and 3 monitors. Come on, really? And I can debunk Reuters that debunks the debunkers. Not even talk about Snopes and the other, yeah. So what do I think about it? I think it's no, I don't want to say I'm gonna be apocalyptic. Say it's sign of the times. Don't take it in that way, because I think we've got a long way to go. But I think it's a sign of the Marxist times. If you
Absolutely,
will. It wasn't a matter of time. It's almost laughable, and I don't think it's fully going to work because and there's one platform I really was hoping would take off was Gab.
Yeah.
But Gab, man, they've just been,
they've gotten so much bigger. The only thing is that, I mean, you can't get an app for it, but if you make just a shortcut on your screen, it's basically the same thing. But Neon Revolt is on Gab exclusively. I mean, he's got a huge Q group there, the Great Awakening over on Gab, and they've been working really hard on it. So, if you haven't used it in a while, go check it out. I highly recommend it. But I know what you mean. Like, I want it to be like Twitter, but it's not like Twitter,
Yeah, and also, with their IPs or whatever, their providers, kicking them off and all this other stuff has been kind of frustrating. But Twitter is what's happened. There's going to be a revolt on Twitter, and people are just going to stop using it because no one wants to be. I shouldn't say no one, but the people who really matter on Twitter, they don't want to be force-fed. And of course, even if they had the verification system, we would know to that crap. What's going to happen is they're going to use that to shadow ban and then crush dissent that's not the official line. I mean, I wish every kid, because I've made my kids read Animal Farm and I've made my kids read 1984.
Yep.
So I wish that was required reading, and then a small discussion about authoritarianism and just big brother and overbearing tyrannical governments, and then just put that seed in children's minds and then send them out in the world, let them see what's happening with that sort of background in their subconscious. And I think we would do this world a huge favor, at least Western society. Well,
the thing is that's too smart. I mean, you put those seeds in people's heads and then they're a lot more difficult to control when they get older. White Hat says that Roger Stone just filed a motion to disqualify the judge. Kay Griff says, I hope when Trump fires all the current fake news idiots that you guys get hired as the anchors on the new real mainstream media. Maybe then we can watch TV again. I watch you both daily. Love you both, Red Pill and BCP. Thank you very much. Tasha Lynn, thank you for the super chat. Abraham Lincoln 2020, you are going to witness what happened here in the UK will happen there in the US. Trump 2020, cool show. Kathleen DiCarlo, BCP, I listen to you on Red Pill every day. Keep up the great work. And Frank says, BCP, thanks for sharing your college story with us. I went to university in the late 90s here in New Jersey, but I didn't see any race-baiting SJW crap. We all seemed to get along back then. As us few Gen X guys, we see it on both sides. Race wasn't a huge thing when I was growing up, I mean, it was like there were people of all races. I went to a Catholic school as a kid, lots of Vietnamese refugees that were coming in. Lots of kids from different countries. And then by the time I get to high school, it wasn't a huge thing. It's like I only noticed race in this country, when I was an adult. It seemed like, all of a sudden they started pushing it, and it was just like this huge thing. And of course, under the Obama years, I mean, it just blossomed here in America. I mean, he was supposed to be this great uniter, and I really do think that he divided the country more than, and it wasn't just him. I mean, it was his administration, I mean, it was a lot of people in his orbit. Well, let's see who's on the phone. We'll bring in our first caller. My good friend Aaron is on the phone. Aaron, make sure you mute that stream, buddy.
Who's on the phone? We'll bring in our first caller.
Okay, I muted you for a second. What's up, Aaron? You're on the air with BCP. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, BCP, you rock. I love your show. You are great, and it's so cool to see you with Red Pill. You guys belong together, I think.
Make me blush.
Yeah, happy to have him here.
Hey, I want to share with you a new design that I just did. Check it out. What do you think?
Oh, that's awesome. Super Trump.
Yeah, and it's the best is yet to come.
Beautiful. Love it.
Did you get the package?
No, because it has to relay. So they're sending it to me. See. Yeah.
Oh, so your bat cave, that wasn't your bat cave.
That wasn't. No, that's just my mailing address. That's how I keep my location remaining undisclosed.
But you know what's great about this movement is now we all have bat computers.
Yeah. It's true.
Think about it.
Very true. Very true. Good stuff.
And I tell all my friends about you, and Red Pill, I mentioned you at the end of my first show, which just aired, and it's had like 102 views so far. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, I will watch it tomorrow. I'll share it on Twitter. Do you have a Twitter account too?
Yes, I do. I'm Joel Moriarty on Twitter, I guess is what I have right now. But Hot Games and Puzzles YouTube channel is what it is. Truth Quest.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, we'll check it out.
All right.
Right on, brother.
Thanks.
Well, thanks for calling, Aaron. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Great show. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, awesome. Let's see who's coming up next. I think I saw Carl's name. Yep. Carl Sorrells.
Are we having fun, y'all? I just want to make sure everyone out there is having fun in the chat room.
Yeah. Give us a 5x5 if you guys are enjoying the show. I've seen nothing but good comments so far. Carl, you're on the air, buddy, with BCP. How are you?
Hey, Red Pill. Hey, BCP. Finally, amazing to meet you again, or officially meet you anyway.
Yep.
Longtime follower. When I found all the Red Pill channels, of course, yours was one of the first ones I found, and I think you're just absolutely amazing. And of course, I got my puppies.
Yeah.
I got my puppies.
How many dogs do you have there, Carl?
8 in total. I got 7 babies and 1 mommy. And
wow.
I had 10 to start with, and sold a few of them. I love my babies.
They're beautiful.
Their dad was my number one. He was amazing. When he could stand up, look me straight in the eye, and give me a kiss. And unfortunately, he passed away.
Oh,
and a month after he passed away, these guys were born.
Oh, wow. What a gift, though. I'm so sorry to hear that.
And anyway, I kind of stopped advertising, started advertising. I still have to find 5 more of these guys' homes.
Yeah.
They're amazing, as you can see. Nothing but snuggle buddies. Uh-oh.
That's so awesome.
This shirt is for them. Black canine puppies.
These are my black conservative patriots right here. I've always wanted you to do call-ins, BCP. You've been on for, good Lord, that lady said 12 years. I've been following you for at least 4.
Yeah. Well, she knows me 12 years, like, personally.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it's been 4 or 5 years online. But
and, I love you guys. Love Red Pill. Love Baby Yoda. Got a shout out to who was that? Jason, of course. He's amazing.
Yeah.
And POTUS. I know he's watching tonight, so I want to say hi to President Trump. I love you. Thank you for stopping by. I didn't know you lived in Vista. I used to live in Vista off Stockton Lane, just down the road from you.
No, that's just where my mailing address is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right. I'm in the Midwest.
I've lived all over the United States. So 39 states, 21 countries.
You got me beat there, man. I lived in San Diego and Massachusetts. We used to be neighbors in San Diego.
All over San Diego, 32nd Street, Vista, of course, Julian, Roseman, Tehachapi, all over Lancaster. My daughter lives in Lancaster still, so she's a nice desert rat. I try to get her out here, but she likes that dry heat.
Now, Carl, you'd asked about call-ins. I've done a few of them for like my Patreon followers. It's something is the format. Now that I've got the technology and I've got like a third of my studio set up, I may be doing that. I don't think I don't think I'm really good at that. Like you see someone like Red that's really good at doing it. Frank from the Quite Frankly podcast.
Just you talking to us, brother. You're saying, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I know. I just,
sometimes we offer 2 cents, or like Red Pill. I love telling, I've lived an amazing life, seen some amazing things, dinosaurs.
Yeah, that was the best story ever, dude.
Teleported through the ceiling, landed head first. Fun stuff,
All
right.
But
there's, on the political side, there's, a lot of people that go to the Trump rallies, and he's had some amazing, have you guys caught some of the amazing things he said in these past 3 rallies?
Oh yeah.
Past few days. They're just tiny little tidbits. Unfortunately, I've watched every single rally he's ever done, and they're all quite repetitive, but it's the little things he says different, and each one are a trip.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm always a huge Space Force fan. I know what's going on there. But now, BCP, I have to ask this question.
Yeah.
All right. We know you're a Q follower. We know you do, but we also know that you don't really talk a lot about it on your show. Is there a reason why, outside of trying to stick to your specific platform?
Yeah. The people have asked, like, if you go to BCP, if you like go into YouTube and do BCP QAnon, you'll see that I used to do specific QAnon videos all the time.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple things with this. Is Q is one of many sources.
Absolutely.
One of many sources. And if you notice, like the name that my nightly program on the main channel goes by, and I'm having a graphic designer do some stuff, and I haven't liked so far what it is, but like open source news, because what I want to present to people is everything in the light. I want things to be sourced, open sourced, nothing covert, nothing in the secret, nothing like someone said, because I think there's a whole group, a slew of people that can be red pilled, that can be awakened, that can be brought over if they're shown the truth by the sources that they already consider to be valid.
Bring in the sauce.
Now, I have to.
So
I was also going to ask you this, because I run into this all the time, and it's trying to red pill the blind, deaf, and dumb that refuse to look at anything outside of mainstream media. How difficult is it for you to get them to question the material that they view, that they look at as scripture, versus what we know to be truth?
Okay, here is the answer to that. And actually, I made a video on this. I never actually put it up, and I think I probably discussed it in some lives in the past. Is everyone on the right, on the libertarian, on the awakened
mainstream bandwagon?
No, like all of us in this community, in this family, right? We're going about it wrong because we are trying to reach emotional beings with logic. It's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
We're on different wavelengths. They're vibrating over here. We're vibrating over here. It's not going to happen. They're not going to tune into our frequency. What you have, how I've been able to, you can't red pill, you have to go back to your own moment of being red pilled. I mean, some people, like my children, will always be brought up with Christian morals and values, and then also being awakened. One of my kids in junior high last year, they said something, someone said something, and then my son said, "You didn't know that?" And their friend's response was like, "Well, not all of us have Alex Jones for a dad." But anyone who has not, who has to have a red pill, who's been brought up on the blue pill side, you're not going to reach them logically. Most of them you're not, because like I shared my story earlier, it was a cute blonde co-ed that made that just shook me, to just kind of got me out of sorts to think. But it was emotion that got me. This is how I've gotten people to at least think. No one's going to be red pilled until they want to red pill themselves because they're fed up or they're mad. Like, think of how many Bernie people have come over to Trump. It was not logical. They went from being socialist, a lot of them, to being libertarian or even conservative. I've seen people that like, dude, weren't you like a Bernie bro like in 2016 and you wanted a whole bunch of free crap? Now
H.A. Goodman.
Market. Yeah, H.A. Goodman's a fun one. Yeah. I've given H.A. a hard time a couple times on that. But yeah, so you see that, and then that happens. But it's all, he was pissed off that Hillary and that whole crime family and the DNC were screwing over Bernie, and then even mad that Bernie took the screwing over. He bent over happy and
took it like a champ.
Yes,
man.
he did.
And he's taking it again. It's great.
Yeah, but that's emotional.
Not great, but
Carl, that's emotional. That's why those people went, because they were pissed off. Then their eyes were open. So if you want to open people's eyes, you've got to get them, if you know them. I mean, this is kind of, I wouldn't say advanced psychology, but this is where you have to think and about the psychology of the people you know. Whatever their hot button is, that's how I've gotten people at least to open their eyes. Someone will say something like, "Oh," and they'll go, "Oh, that's really great," and I'm like,
"Orange man bad."
Usually it's easier when their people say something, because they will always tune out whatever Trump says. It can never really come from what Trump says. What you have to do is you have to sit them down and have them listen to their heroes, their sheroes, their pundits that they listen to. And when they say something that's absolutely wrong, don't use logic. Get offended in front of your friends or family. Like, all right, what? They think they own us blacks on the Democrat plantation? What? Did he just say that? Did he just assume that because I'm black, I have to? What? That's insulting. Then if that's the hot button for your friend, family, or neighbor, they're going to be like, it's not going to be logic for them to begin. Then they'll be like, that is kind of offensive. And it may not be the first time, but you keep dripping with them with emotion. And the thing is, the great thing about like this movement and Patriots in general is we are emotional just like the left. But we temper our emotion with logic and being pragmatic and being realists.
Mm-hmm.
They still live in la la land where utopia is going to happen because a bunch of people, elitists, are going to save us. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's actually sophomoric and it's immature. And that's how, not that we're better than them. I'm telling you, Carl, we're all emotional beings. Look at me.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you.
But
I just love that I got y'all riled up, brother.
But it has to come from emotion. You're not going to red pill people on logic. It's not going to happen. It's going to happen in a very minuscule part of the human spectrum. You've got to do it with emotion. And the easiest way is to get mad, to get offended. All of the, anything that triggers them, let that trigger you. And let it be an eye opener. I hope that makes sense, Red.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's great advice, dude. Yeah.
Really, absolutely. Just perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Love the conversation, man. Thank you so much.
Great question.
Carl, thanks for calling in, buddy. We got 17 people on the line, so we're moving on, okay?
All right. Love you guys. God bless America. Thank you again.
Absolutely.
I will see you on the flip side.
Appreciate the call, brother. Talk to you soon. Yeah, that is great advice, man. I never considered that, you know? I mean, like, I've appealed to emotional issues with people in that respect. Like my mom, I was able to red pill her by, you know, starting to talk about, you know, child trafficking, you know? And then I took that conversation and moved it into, well, wow, President Trump is the first president to actually do anything about it. And then showing her facts and figures. Oh, that was a good one.
Immediately.
Yes, immediately. And then all of the executive orders, I was like, this is happening. I made the right choice. All right. I do need to say thank you to Sassy. She said the best is yet to come. And Ruba said, ask BCP about the Q thoughts. We got that. Christine Glockner says, wow, what an awesome trio. Love you guys. God bless. Thank you for that. Chris Hawkins is now on the line. Chris, you're live on the air. Former TSA agent Chris Hawkins. This guy just get his microphone working. But yeah, good stuff here. So do you have any plans for the future here, BCP? I mean, I know that you're growing the channel. You said you got yourself a backup channel as well. I mean, you know, what do you see for yourself in the years to come?
Okay. Someone talked about a speaking tour. I will be planning something like that to go out. I kind of want to do. That's what some of these family reunions are going to be about. Hey, Chris, over the next between now and the. Or kind of get my chops in. I used to speak level in the past or whatever, very, very different. But do that. I do have actually have 2 books I've written that I just haven't finished. One of them is just I missed my time on it. It was pretty much about the wins of the first year of Trump's presidency, but there were so many things that were still pending that I was waiting for, and then I kind of lost a passion for it.
Sure.
I can always pick up that manuscript and make it the basis for something going forward. So working on that, and then you know, I also have other non-political related businesses that I want to grow.
Yeah, one sec, Chris. He's just finishing a point.
So as far as like, I want to grow this channel, a full-on studio, have a very news type studio. Bring in a staff to help me grow this. Perhaps it's in the works, kind of thinking about it. I have a person I'm talking to, or considering, I should say, and we've talked a little bit about it, having like a co-anchor or a co-person. You know, for a long time, it was just Alex, and then later he brought on like, you know, Sergeant Joe, and he brought on, you know, what's his name, Schroyer. Guy and other people.
David Knight, all those guys.
Yeah, Dave Knight. Yeah, Dave Knight's been on there for a while. Yeah, so and then he had that Leanne McAdoo for I don't know what happened to her. But you know, but the thing is, BCP as a brand is still in this baby infancy, and I don't want it to stray in the wrong direction. Not that I'm a control freak, but I've had businesses before, and there's a certain time when you bring people on board, and it's not that yet. So I'm talking still several years down the road. But this year, you can expect to see a studio build out and me out meeting Patriots more throughout the nation. That's kind of the immediate plans.
All right, sweet. Looking forward to it. Chris, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Hey, I had to give a huge shout out to Jason for what he did. We all saw and talked about it tonight. What he did was just so amazing.
Yeah.
But I wanted to touch on a point that he said, you know, he had all these troubles, like 20 years on methamphetamines. And, you know, that's huge for him to say that stuff, because there's a lot of us that come from troubled past, you know, whatever it is. And for him to lay himself out like that is massive. And I think we all need to comprehend, you know, that's great. That's great, because we need to do this. We need to let everybody know our history, where we come from. And then we will find that we have way more in common than we ever thought.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if I'm explaining that exactly the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
But
well, you know what? It also ties in, I think, into what he said about, you know, he's always come out with his full name. You know, he's always given his phone number out. He's you know, just doxed himself, and he's owned his past. You know, I mean, when you can take whatever your past is, if you've had some troubles or whatever, you own it, and you use it as a learning experience, and you're not looking to keep it a secret. You know, then nobody can use that against you. So, you know, I mean, you know, same thing here. You know, I mean, I've said very recently, you know, I'm 2 years sober from drugs and alcohol. You know, I live in a state where marijuana is legal. You know, and so I mean, it was an excuse for me to keep smoking. You know, but you know, I mean, I got to the point where I knew, you know, that my life wasn't going to grow in the way that I wanted it to unless I, you know, lived a completely sober lifestyle. That's not for everybody, you know, but I mean, I knew that's what I needed.
Right. Yeah, so that was just amazing, and I just, yeah, it blew me away. It's still blowing me away. But BCP, man, I've been watching you forever. Just shortly after I got turned on to Red Pill, and I wanted to say, like, maybe I could help you out with some rebranding, you know, because BCP, that could also stand for badass conservative patriot.
Chris, I have a file in my my laptop that has probably every iteration of BCP that you've thought of and more. But yeah, email me your ideas.
Hey, well, I got plenty of them, man. I'm just
and Chris, and let me explain this too to people, because I get this question. You know, BCP. You know, just, you know, I grew up. I love hip hop. Grew up hip hop. It's kind of cool. You know, I have, like, you know, Chris was KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions, BDP. So BCP, and the first one that really started calling me BCP, got to give credit, is to, quite frankly, because I was, you know, saying BCP and people were saying BCP, but I think it's the first, like, we got BCP and never even saying Black Conservative Patriot. The name came out of, because it was necessary, as I said, it was to shock the system. You see Black Conservative Patriot, that you're going to react to that name. You're going to react to that name. So as far as marketing is concerned, I don't think I can beat Black Conservative Patriot in iteration of BCP. Also, there is a slight protection in that name, and I'll just leave it at that. But there's another fourth and fifth and sixth level why I've stayed with that name. The channel name will not change. It'll always be that on the main channel. And there's several advantages that I'm taking advantage of that come with that name that will kind of help me if things start to go sour. I'll just leave it at that. But the name offers me some sort of protection. You guys can probably read between the lines and figure it out. Don't want to go into details, but sure. But I feel blessed that the BCP, and as some people, especially new people, go, why are you Black Conservative Patriot? Why can't you just be like Conservative Patriot? I am. Call me BCP.
Yep. I mean, I think it was a brilliant branding move. I mean, no doubt that propelled you to, you know, the initial heights, you know, so whatever, you know, I mean, it is what it is. And at this point it's stuck, you know. BCP is a sweet name, so whatever.
Well, and you know, BCP has just such a calmness, like you do, just such a calmness and a natural vibe that is exactly what this movement needs. And, you know, I had something else already prepared that now I've lost it. that was just gonna kind of explode a little something. But anyways, maybe that's for next time.
All right. Yeah. Save it for tomorrow.
Yeah. Right. Hey. So,
all right.
But hey, man, I love you guys, man. God bless you. God bless you. God bless. Oh, I know this is what I was gonna say.
Okay.
But you know, with all of us, that, you know, this is what they kept us down from, was becoming united. You know, that we have, hey, this history, that history, whatever. We're from different cultures. This is the awakening. So, man, people, let's just reach out to each other in love. You know, that's like, I'll walk by somebody that's angry at me, and just pray for them. You know, just pray for them, because they, you know, God works in ways that we don't understand. He says more is in the unseen than what is seen.
Absolutely.
You know, if we walk out in power, in love, God's gonna bless that. And this is gonna get so huge that people don't even understand. We don't even understand.
I agree. You know, this is one of the reasons that I always tell people not to engage leftists on social media, because, I mean, partly because of the fact that they are not coming from a place of ethos and logos. I mean, it's all emotion, like BCP said. And you know, if you get into an argument with somebody on social media, chances are pretty good that you're going to be the one that ends up getting your account taken away. You know, I get people sending me messages all the time. You know, how have you never gotten your account suspended or taken away? Well, I've never put myself into a position where I'm going to get into an argument, and that includes people on our side. You know, people try to, you know, drag me into things, and I'm not interested in doing it. You know, drama's not my scene. There's plenty of people who can do drama. They enjoy it. That's just not what I want to do. I would, you know, if you want to talk, we can have a conversation, you know, but I'm not going to put myself into a position where I'm going to be drawn into something like that. All right. Well, Chris, thank you so much for your call, buddy. We got 18 people behind you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for the call. All right, and coming up next, we've got my good friend Hog. Hog, what's up, brother? Make sure you mute that stream.
Talk, man.
What's up, buddy? Hold on, we got no audio. Oh, you got to set your mic. Go to the bottom left where that mute button is, hit the arrow up, and then select your microphone. Or maybe you got to turn on your blue microphone. Maybe it's off.
There we go.
Okay, sweet. There we go. Well,
I'm still trying to get used to this app. It always jumps, and I had it, I thought, set.
You're good, brother. You're good. Well, what's going on, man? How you been?
Doing all right. Nice to see you, Red Pill.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. What's your question for BCP?
Well, just wanted to come in and give him his props. I was actually watching BCP before you, man.
Right on.
Well, not before you, but before I found Red Pill.
Right.
Yeah. I've seen on BCP's channel, he's getting a lot of ads. Are you actually getting paid for that, or
it's interesting? Yeah, it's interesting. I get that. Yeah, I mean, I do make ad revenue, and it's really interesting to me how on my back office, like this last week, 4 of my videos supposedly have been demonetized. I watch them. I don't see ads. My wife and kids watch them, and they don't get ads. But then I see the comments going, all I'm getting is Bloomberg ads.
Yep.
Yeah. Same on my channel. Same on my Yeah.
So I'm happy to take his money, and it's fine.
Me too.
You know, no one's gonna like jump ship. So
yeah.
So you know, I do make some ad revenue, but you know, it's not something you can really bank on, because like if I were doing like my other passion, muscle cars, like if I was making videos about my Hemi or like my Trans Am or something, then it would be awesome. You know, I could count on that for viability. Right. So that's why, like, when Reddit asked me what else I'm working on, well, I'm working on another business that can employ my kids and that we can kind of grow. So, you know, this is always fun. I don't have the pressure of whatever, but let's just say that it pays enough for me to do what I need to do on here, and do some things I want to do, like build the studio out. Also, the Patreon supporters have been very generous as well. So it's a good business. But when you see what other people outside of the conservative space who never get demonetized are making, like we could actually, honestly, if this thing weren't throttled and it was a fair system, Red and I will probably be rich. There's that amount of people that really want this material. So like I've taken one of my videos where I go, oh cool, I made $350 in ad revenue, or even $800 or $900 in ad revenue. And then I seen someone else's video, because I'm an economist, I'm a numbers cruncher. I see someone else in a totally different space, tech, cars, something else that I follow. And I try to do apples and apples. Okay, I have about the same amount of views, same amount of things, and they're like millionaires. Like literally, like just the difference is incredible. So yeah, I do make some money from ad revenue. That shouldn't be a secret or whatever. But I have no control over like the doubling and the tripling on top of ads of Bloomberg and whatever that people are getting. And like for instance, the last 2 days I've been on what I'm seeing on the other end is, they say I'm demonetized, but I have made a little bit of ad revenue. It's just you make less because, I guess the Bloomberg ads playing on everyone's thing are not as premium as like some of the other channels that have non-skippable ads and things like that. So, but yeah, I'm not going to say I'm not making any money, but I sure wish I was in another space, because I'd probably be making a lot more.
Right, because I was wondering about that. I'm like, we see him, but does he see him? And I hope he's getting paid for them.
I've had a lot of people telling me that that's all they're seeing on my channel is Bloomberg ads. And, yeah, I mean, I had 2 videos that broke 70,000 views this week, and I made just over $30 a piece. So if that tells you. So if anybody is watching the videos, please watch the Bloomberg ads. I know you're not going to vote for them, but I would really appreciate it. It would really help out the channel.
Right. That's all. Now, I never see ads on yours, Red Pill.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't, so it if you see an ad, all you got to do is watch like the first, until maybe a few seconds after it tells you that you can skip, and then it will give credit for having watched it. And if you do watch it, it obviously, then if they're playing an ad, then they are going to pay us a little bit of revenue, and it, that is helpful. But I mean, I know a lot of people that use, ad blockers, people say that, they don't even ever see ads because they're using ad blockers, but.
Yeah, I actually disabled mine just so I could see who's getting, demonetized and who's not. And it just shows like how bad YouTube and big tech is treating conservatives.
Mm-hmm. It's very true. It's very true. I'm sorry, you guys. I saw a conversation in the chat about somebody with a prawn star name, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. I think we were getting spammed, but it was like normal comments, just a prawn star name.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's conservative ones of those as well.
Yeah. I mean, they exist.
Yeah, you can't. That's the biggest thing. Like you're hit the nail on the head, Hawk, and you're seeing that, Red. Is there's no monolith. There's no like stamp of conservative. Like what the mainstream media will tell you, it's orange man bad, white man bad. The worst thing to be right now, and it's so funny saying it as a Black American male, is a white American male right now. Like, yeah, like people make all kinds of assumptions, and it's ridiculous. And I felt, I honestly felt before Obama came in, I was like, America is healed. America is healed. Even when this fake Marxist came up, I was like, oh, you know what? I can't say I didn't feel a sense of pride. Okay, we've got a biracial, we've got a Black man in the White House. I don't believe in his politics. He sounds pretty divisive, but you know what? I know almost everyone in the financial firm I worked for that was white voted for him. White Gill. I told them not to. They did anyway. But there was a sense of pride. Okay, all right, this gotta be a one term, and he'll be out, whatever the deal is. But to think that we had a huge missed opportunity, no matter what his politics is, he could have continued with his Marxist, leftist rhetoric, but not made it about race. And unfortunately, he delved into that very, very low divisive space. And I do want to clarify something from my comment earlier, Red, is when I had that at Berkeley, there's a lot of good people. Like I'm not saying that all elitists or white liberals obviously are racist, but there's a lot of people that just come from a disingenuous place, or they mean well, but they're brainwashed into thinking that they're actually better. And so I've never felt that from conservatives or libertarians.
Yeah,
if people think I'm an a-hole, they think I'm an a-hole because I'm an a-hole. And nothing having to do with, and I've always taken it that way too. And it would behoove a lot of Hispanics and Blacks to stop being so darn sensitive. And if someone calls you out because you're an idiot, it's because you're an idiot. It has nothing to do with your race. You're just a horrible human being.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Stupid knows no bounds.
No, it's true. So Rob Stillman says, BCP, can you do a meetup near Sacramento, California? Is there any way people can sign up to find out when you're doing meetups? Like, do you have a website you can send people to, an email list?
Working on it. What I've done is make sure that you're subscribed to the main channel, and I've been posting it, doing it as YouTube posts, and on Twitter as well.
Okay.
So follow me on Twitter. Follow me. Have the notifications on YouTube. I post a few times a week generally, and that's how I've done it. Like, for instance, when I go to Texas, I know where I most likely need to be. I need to be, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That's the place most people want, and probably Austin. So I've done polls and things like that. And then when I'm in Florida, I know I probably need to be, even though they seem close to me, it seems to me I need to be in Tampa, but I also need to be in Orlando, like not just one. So I've gotten that information from, from feedback that I've done on my posts. So that's where you want to follow me. I am working on setting up a website that'll be a BCP website that'll have that information as well. It's going to be pretty informal because I'm kind of letting my wife and kids spearhead it, so they feel like they're part of this. So that's kind of like where that's at. And my wife's like old school. Like she uses tech to the bare minimum, but she likes calling the venues, haggling on price. She is from Southern Mexico. What? 700? No way. And then, they literally call her back and go, okay, 575 when, and then take the cleaning fee is half off or whatever. I'm like, I would never have done that. My wife gets the deals, So that's kind of like, that's kind of where we're at. But yeah, that's something that's in the works. And the time I dedicate to to this channel, Red Pie, the same way. We lose sleep. Yeah. We sacrifice other things. I've got a Regal card. I love the cinema. I love going to the movies. I thought Parasite was the best movie of 2019. Disagree with you on that, POTUS. But I only have so many times a day, so I really need to bring someone on board. And I did have someone on board. They just didn't quite work out. So, but yeah, I'm going to have a website up in the next several months, if not sooner.
Awesome. All right. Well, Hog, thanks for your call, buddy. We got 16 people behind you, bud.
Okay. BCP, try to hit Michigan.
Sweet. All right, man.
Thanks, guys.
Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Also, we said that. Wow. Joey Fountain says, I love the brand BCP. No shocker that you're black, a conservative, and a patriot. Daniel Turgeon says, I haven't seen any ads on here so far. Thank you to all the patriots. We are informed. Yeah, guys, if you could watch, just a little bit of the ad, it would really help out. White Hat, mute the ads. Yeah, and for those of you who have Brave browser, Carl, I'm looking at you. You can just play my videos in the background on the playlist in Chrome or something like that, and then just use Brave. Seabass says, BCP, will you come to Detroit? Two people in Michigan, two Patriots in Michigan. Want you to come.
Yeah, I'm an honest, transparent kind of guy. Detroit hasn't been on my radar. but I do have family. I do have family in the area. I haven't seen. Well, I usually see them in family reunions down south.
Okay.
But you're making your case. Let's just leave it at that.
All right, good stuff. Let's see. Love Vibration Nation says, do you guys think in the ultimate act of justice, POTUS appoints Flynn as permanent head of the DNI after his exoneration? Best is yet to come. MAGA. What do you think is going to happen with Flynn? This is a hot button issue.
Yeah. I observe and I analyze, but here's the thing that I'm totally transparent with people is I don't know what I don't know. So I can't make any assumptions. I believe it would be the right thing, and I think it would be the ultimate justice that once Flynn's case is thrown out and everything is said and done, that he has a position in intelligence somewhere in the Trump administration.
I agree.
Don't think he'd be NSA again, but permanent DNI. Once again, we've been told that these people are place markers, and there's a reason for Trump using place markers. I am waiting for the day to find out what Matt Whitaker really did as interim AG, setting up for Barr. I know there's some interesting stuff that happened there. Why was Bolton in for so long? Mm-hmm. No, that there is a brilliant move there, but I don't know what it is. So when I give you my analysis, it's based on what I think or what I know, but based on facts. And I don't like to go in la la land. I do believe that Flynn will end up in some sort of official capacity. I don't know if it'll be necessarily in the Trump administration, but but I hope he gets back in intelligence, and I hope that he can expose the pedal network and do all the stuff that we knew he was going to do, and that's why he's the first guy they had to get out of the way.
Right. I completely agree with you. Linda Chastain, thank you for the super chat. All right, bringing in the next caller, Robert Lorette.
This is fun, by the way, everyone. Big hug to all of y'all. Thanks for being on here.
Good stuff. Glad you're here, dude. Robert, do you have your microphone? Nope, got to get your microphone on there. You know, I'm just waiting for the moment that POTUS, either he's got to completely pardon Flynn, like head it off at the pass, be like, whatever, preemptively, we're just going to say that it's over and done with, or it's going to be just so completely obvious and they're going to have to drop the case because, at this point, I don't know how anybody can't see it. It's clear that they railroaded him. It's clear that they tried to, go after his son. They're going to have to do something. Looks like, Robert, are you there?
Yes, how y'all doing?
Good, sir. How about yourself? Robert, you got to mute the stream in the background, buddy. Otherwise, you're going to hear it twice.
Okay.
I'm going to mute you until you get it muted.
Part of this that's going on, all of these things that are happening right now, the timing is interesting. But, we got Roger Stone and Flynn in the news. Seth Rich came back in the news.
Yep.
CrowdStrike is back in the news. All these things are coming. So a long game is being played. Trump knows how to play the long game. That is why he's been able to bring China to their knees. We're a nothing country, been around a few hundred years. What? Come on,
right?
That's like the begin. That's the infant stage of one dynasty.
Yep.
So so it's like I'm the most impatient man, and I was hoping that we would see arrests and the kind of stuff. But the more I see how deep this thing is, and they have to make a solid case, I don't know. I still believe the first major arrest will probably be Comey and/or McCabe, and some other people. I think there'll be even bigger fish to fry after that. I think those will be some of the first of the sacrificial lambs, and not sacrificial. They deserve to be roasted. But I don't think. I think we still have to wait a little longer. There's obviously all kinds of things happening, and we see the dots, and we get tons of breadcrumbs, and we can bake and see, but there's a lot of breadcrumbs we're still waiting to get. Especially we got breadcrumbs, but when we get the yeast, game over.
I've got an interesting theory. This is something I've been thinking about. Very interesting in my mind that the whole COVID-19 takes place in China at the exact same time that we have this major trade war going on with China. So what does that do? That, quite literally brings them to their knees in a number of different areas because commerce is going to completely stop. It's going to force all the American companies that are supplying in China to now source from someplace else if they want to continue the business. Also, since we have clearly it's spreading throughout the rest of the world, we've got the U.S. military and the CDC preparing for an outbreak here in America. How interesting would it be if the COVID-19 quarantine in America was the excuse to implement martial law and therefore begin the arrests? We'll get your follow-up on that in just a moment. We'll see what Robert has. Robert, are you there, buddy? I can't unmute you. All right. Well, tell me what you think about that. Do you think that could possibly happen?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can, Robert. Do you still have the stream going in the background? I can hear it. You gotta mute the video that you're watching.
I'm on my phone. I'm not quite sure how this works, really.
Well, you're watching the stream at the same time you're on the phone with me, right? I can hear myself in the background. Just we got to make sure that we can't hear it in the background because it'll feedback loop.
Yeah, I have it turned off.
Okay, sweet. Good stuff. So what's your question for BCP? I can still hear it.
Well, first, I just want to tell both of y'all thank you for what y'all do.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
The beauty of life.
I guess we'll try this again later. I'm sorry.
It's okay, buddy.
Thanks for calling in, Robert. Big hug, man.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon. It happens every now and then. Yeah, you guys just make sure you mute the stream. We're about to go to Daddy Dragon. This is where it gets set up for the London 2.0.
Daddy D.
Yep. Are you there, Daddy? He's got to get that unmuted right there. Well, yeah. So here he is. Here he is. Am. What's up, Daddy Dragon?
I am absolutely thrilled to bits to see my favourite, actually second favourite, black conservative patriot. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks, Daddy D.
Yeah. And just in case anyone's asking who my first black conservative patriot is, it is Candace Owens, and I am a heterosexual. and therefore...
Can't blame you.
No I met her briefly. She's a very nice person.
Yeah, no, she is. She's lovely. And I love the way she absolutely tells it as it is. And the same as you. So I've got a quick couple of questions. Earlier on in the chat, I mentioned the Fabians, and one of the chat members in there, Jeags, I believe you pronounce it, said you're meaning me. I'm the first person he or she has ever mentioned the Fabian Society. Mm-hmm. Now, you often, and I absolutely love it, you often refer to the Marxist Muppets, right? And just the way you express it, I was just sitting here giggling because that's exactly what I feel. So the first question is, do you know anything about the Fabian Society, and do you know anything about the Fabian Society's reach in the United States of America?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Right. So just to give you an example, the Fabian Society were founded in 1884. Their emblem is a wolf in sheep's clothing. They are the most dangerous people. The book 1984 was written basically about the Fabian Society and the 100-year centenary of the Fabian Society. Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, is an executive member. And back in, I can't remember when it was now, 2018, I was one of the people that arrested him. Live, it went to 150 countries, and even President Trump clapped when he saw it. Khan wasn't impressed. It was live in front of 3,000 people. And we arrested him for subverting the English Constitution, which is a serious offence. But the next brief one is, I mean, first of all, you need to understand how bad they are for America. But the next question to you is, I intend to arrange this event in London, a Q event, but a truth teller event more than anything else. So one of the people, we've actually put out a list of people, who do you want to come? And it was one of the top on the list, which didn't surprise me. And also Roseanne, and there'll be a few others. So that is something we definitely want to sort out for London, and you're obviously most welcome to attend it.
Thank you. Tentative dates, month?
I featured August, but it could be September. Really, it's got to fit in with the people who are going to come over. But to go to a decent venue, there is a venue I've got in mind, and I've got to go and speak to some people to do it. And it's the one that's got a lot of transport links to it, and it is in London. But again, there are certain elements to that. I won't say it on air yet, because without getting something contractual in place with the venue, they'll shut it down.
I totally understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hit me up on Twitter. Let's connect on Twitter.
Yeah, no problem. So the other quick one I'll say to you, don't forget, listen, I've got new glasses, and I've got to tell you something, Red Pill, you started a trend.
This is my whole life. They look
very
great.
Vocals.
They look
all
great.
right, then. Anyway, be lucky. I'm sure there's many other people. Don't forget, it is 4 o'clock. Well, nearly 5 o'clock in the morning here. So,
oh, man.
Be lucky, and I'll see you later.
Thanks for staying up, Daddy. We'll talk to you soon, bud.
Thanks, Daddy.
No
Dave.
worries.
All right, bye-bye.
And I'm glad he brought the full English and not the full Monty.
Right. That's good stuff. Oh, hey, it's Q Wife Maga Life. What's up, Q? First-time caller, long-time listener. Glad to have you here.
Hey, Q Wife.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We got the stream going in the background, though, so mute that.
I will fix that.
Cool. Cool.
Great.
Hi, guys. Sweetheart.
Hello. Oh my gosh, darling, been a long time.
I know. We need to connect offline.
Since we're like neighbors.
Yeah.
I always tell Red Pill, if you actually pick up your mail in person,
that's right.
I have some goodie bags for Muffin and for the other kids. So, but I just wanted to drop a quick comment. I know BCP personally. I started with a business in 2008. At the end of 2008 and early 2009, we met. And at the time, I was nervous. I was concerned. It was like my first time in an entrepreneurial venture. And he was my very first friend. He literally came up to me and took me under his wing, introduced me around, made me feel so comfortable. This gentleman is the real deal, you guys. So if you ever get a chance to meet him, you'll see that for yourself. And also, BCP, I sent you a picture of, one of your famous hugs. You and I hugging, where I'm 5'10".
Where'd you send it?
I sent it to your Facebook inbox.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm 5'10" and you're not.
Yeah, that's why every time POTUS says Mini Mike, I'm like, dang, what's he gonna say when he finally meets me?
It's great. I'm like, hi, honey. So I do miss you. Yes, I haven't called.
No, we I'm gonna talk to my wife. We need to have you guys over for dinner.
All right. Oh, her intro is my favorite. The way she says notifications. I try to do it. I'm just like, it makes me giggle every single time. So I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you're with Red Pill. He's another one of my favorites. I love both of you guys. So thank you so much. I'll let you get to your other callers.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate you calling. Bye. Somebody just said, please give us.
The name came up and I'm like, oh, it's like I didn't, like I was like, oh, because I know her real name,
right.
Name, so it's funny to I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Now you'll see it, and you'll remember it next time.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Valancourt says, please give a shout out to RKTNN. He had a YouTube account reported on the border. He had several strokes, and he and his family need everyone's prayers. Okay, yeah, please pray, you guys, for RKTNN. That's horrible to hear. Okay, so coming up with the next caller, it's Denise. I think it's my friend Denise from the UK, another UK caller twice in a show. Denise, are you there? All right, she's coming up. I need to say thank you to Leah Bird. I need to say thank you to Baby Yoda. He says, yes, Red, I feel the possibility of martial law, backup toilet paper and popcorn, prepare Patriots for a few months. I smell what we are stepping in. I tend to think so, too. Janet Brown.
Southern California.
What's that?
I do too, because I'm in Southern California.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's inevitable out there. I'll tell you what, the most shocking thing for me when I moved to San Diego was seeing someone taking a dump on the street. Like I had never seen anything like that. And it was like, I couldn't believe that it happened. It was.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that here. I've seen it in LA.
I was downtown San Diego. Like, I mean, it was, so it wasn't like it just.
Not for the gas lamp, though, because they keep that place.
No, that gas lamp was beautiful. I love gas lamp. I need to say thank you to Annie Oakley. It says, BCP, been following you since...
Someone's got the name Annie Oakley. Oh, that's so awesome. I want that for my daughters.
Been following you since 11,000 subs. Are you buying Q yet? Yes, you must have tuned in late, Annie Oakley, because we definitely talked about this.
Yeah, if you've been following me since about 11,000, then you should know the answer to that, because that's about when I was doing 3 or 4, because that was when there was a lot of drops, and I was covering those drops pretty extensively.
Yeah. All right, Denise, are you there, hon?
I'm here.
Excellent.
Hey,
good to talk to you. What's your question for BCP?
Well, it's not so much a question; it's a comment. It's been an absolutely brilliant night. I nearly wet myself. It's been hilarious. I messaged you on Twitter a picture of a bus that's been driving backwards and forwards in front of Buckingham Palace today. It's your school buses, one of your yellow school buses, with comments, with a picture of Prince Andrew.
Oh, Lord, I see it.
Emblazoned right along the side of it, saying contact the FBI.
Oh, that's hilarious.
BCP, I do watch you every day, as I watch Red Pill every day. And X22. Been absolute magic. And choked. I was so choked seeing Jason carry that veteran and to see him on your program. I wasn't crying. I was peeling onions.
I'm not crying, you're crying. Yeah, that was basically pretty much everybody.
Yeah. But anyway, thoroughly enjoyed your show tonight. I'll leave you because I know you've got a queue of people.
All right.
That want to talk to you.
Well, thank you so much for calling, Denise. It's always a pleasure when you call in, and thank you for watching.
That is one heck of a stunt with that school bus.
It sure is. Denise, are you seeing this?
Where are you?
Oh, on the screen.
Yes, that's it. That's what I said. Yeah.
That's great. You should make this your Zoom photo so that every time you call in, this is what pops up. All right. Thanks for your call, Denise. I appreciate it.
That was good. I like that.
Okay.
All right.
Bye now.
Talk to you soon.
This is fun, Red. I haven't had the smile. I had a smile on my face the whole time. This is a blast.
Good, man. I'm glad you're having a good time. I am too. Annie Oakley says, "Love you both. You are almost as straight of shooters as me. Almost." Yeah, Annie Oakley. She was the straightest shooter. All right. We got time for one more caller. Caller, you are on the air. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's going on, Red Pill? What's going on, BCP?
How's it going?
Can we get your name?
Good. Yes, I'm Elvis from New York. I'm mostly known in Thomas Show.
Oh, I've heard you on there before, Elvis. How you doing, buddy?
Elvis.
Hey, what's going on? Man, BCP, let me tell you, man, you're the man. Because now you're popular. But it took a lot of courage to do what you did at the beginning, brother. You know, I know you caught a lot of flack. But, you know, that's what a patriot does, man. He puts himself on the line. So I want to congratulate you for that, because now it seems easy, but no one knows what price you pay to get to where you're at. So thank you for that. Yes, sir. I wanted to touch a topic. I don't know if you listened to me before, but I'm always on certain topics.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to bring something up real quick now that I have both of you guys on here.
Okay.
Have you ever, I'm pretty sure you're aware of psychoelectronic weapons.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, as we were talking about the difference between emotional and rational, and if you notice through the course of a lot of things in society, the structure, we see blue and red. So when you look at 3D, you see blue and red. When you look at police, you see blue and red. When you look at gangs, you see blue and red. When you look at sodas, you see blue and red. When you look at political parties, you see blue and red, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like there's a psychological depth to these colors that have to do with a lot more than just what we're seeing, in front of us. Like, it's some sort of programming that's going on in front of us that we're just not catching on, that keeps us in that divide, because our structure is created in that divide. Yes. You see, so it's like you're either Pepsi or you're Coca-Cola. Mm-hmm. You're either Trump or you're Hillary. You're either Crips or you're Blood. And then who controls all that? The police. So they're both blue and red.
Yeah.
You see, and with that being said, I've been thinking, are we actually under a subliminal attack with these weapons that we're just not aware of, that keeps this battle going on, so we just can't find that middle ground? Because how can someone figure that it is normal to kill a baby after it's born? How can you celebrate that? Like, I can't rationalize in what angle or form or shape I can find pleasure in that.
No, I can't either, and I'm really surprised that the left has gone to that spot. I mean, I feel like
especially overtly.
Yeah.
You think that covertly maybe, but yeah, I agree with you. Like, that's even shocking for the left.
I feel like they felt that they needed to ratchet up their timeline because of Donald Trump. Everything has just gotten so extreme since President Trump came into office, and it's not on our side. I mean, you can clearly see, it's the left and their agenda, and they're pushing it harder and harder and harder. And, if they're like, okay, well, even though Trump's in office, if we can rationalize, the taking the life of a baby after it's been born, then, hey, that's a win.
Yes. Well, what I see with this is, I'll give you an example. My mother is a person who cannot stand the name of Trump, but she knows clearly that I support him, right? And I started off with a video called Operation Mockingbird. I said, Mama, you like watching documentaries? Like, watch that for me. She's like, you know what? I have it in front of me. I'm going to watch it. I haven't heard from her since, but I will be calling her. And I remember when I first brought HAARP to her, she said, you are out of your socket. Then she saw Jesse Ventura do a documentary on it, and suddenly it is real.
Yep.
So there is truth to where you have to guide them to a trusted source that can snap them, because it'll break that psyche that they're under.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You see,
Elvis,
yes,
someone in the chat just suggested you watch my interview with Cyrus Parsa from yesterday, where we talk about the use of AI from technology companies, which they're using to subliminally reprogram our brains. And
yes, through the phones. That's one of them, through the phones, definitely.
Yeah. And I think that they're using, like, through their entire technology platform. You know, I mean, it's if you remember Dr. Robert Epstein talking about Google manipulating their search results in order to, you know, push people to vote in one direction or another. But it goes so much deeper than that, even.
Yes, and I wanted to touch briefly. Do you remember that FOIA document where accidentally they released that picture that had the woman, and it showed like all the different advances they had? Like, one of them was reading and broadcasting thoughts into you, the other one was controlling your mechanical movements, the other one was actually creating sexual urges, and then one of them was in 1974 they were actually successfully transmitting sounds into people's heads.
Yes.
So I believe that a lot of these things that have happened, where they go and commit these mass murders, and then they say some voice told me to.
Oh yes.
And then they blame Charles Manson or Eminem.
Yeah.
I believe that these are actually weapons that are being used to create these flags, these attacks, but they're actually being manipulated. And you would ask, well, how can people support these extreme thoughts? And I got to say, listen, fluoride has a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Bromium and aluminum in our air has purpose.
Yep.
Mercury in our vaccines has purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Electric magnetic fields around us through smart meters, through these 5Gs and all that, it has a purpose. And the only solution I've found, and it's my personal solution, but maybe you might agree, maybe not, and it's prayer. I found that through prayer, I've been able to break these things that want to tie us. It is almost like you're channeling some sort of force that comes in and pretty much labels you and protects you from that. But when we see people that advocate for these abominations, they become sucked by it, and suddenly they become the minions to it.
Yeah, you know, I would say that it's probably no coincidence or mistake that they're filling our bodies with heavy metals, you know, in so many different fashions, because, I mean, yeah, it's going to make us, you know, much more electrically conductive, and you know, voice-to-skull technology, and, you know, microwave emitting towers all over the place, sending out messages. Well, listen, Elvis, I love you, buddy. Thanks for the call, but we are over the 12 o'clock hour, so we got to bounce. Okay.
Thank you. God bless you guys. God bless you, and thank you for everything you do.
God bless you too, brother. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
And for people who think that that's outlandish, you know, because not everyone is there.
Yeah.
Let me just plant this this thought into people. And that was almost ironic that I said that. Totally, that was just random. Or was it? Our thoughts are electrical impulses.
Yep.
Our thoughts are electrical impulses. Just take that. Just anyone who does that, just think of that. That is a fact. Mm-hmm. That is a fact. You know, everything's electrical impulses. That's why we have an entire nervous system, spinal. That's all electrical impulses that are happening within our body. And the second thing is, Elvis is correct. I'm not getting metaphysical or like that, but is it possible that when we pray, we're on a different electrical frequency that takes us away from other things that may be manipulating us?
Absolutely.
Food for thought.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would like to think that most of the audience is here with us and that they understand it. But, you know, if you don't, just look into it. Think about everything that the government has been researching on black budget projects for the last 100 years, and imagine what they have been able to achieve in that time with no oversight, with unlimited amounts of funding. That's why we are in such an incredible debt situation here in the United States. Anything that you see as a technology that's released today, you can bet that the government was using it 30, 35, 40 years ago. Okay, so now we're just getting it because they've already used all of the military and, weapon projects that they can with it. All right, well, listen, BCP, I want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been an incredible show.
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you.
Thank you to everybody in the audience. Tanette Booth says, sent a DM on Twitter from the heart. Please find. I will, Tanette. I'll take a look at it. Then Santifa says, Dr. Stephen Greer is not liberal. Okay, I will look into Dr. Stephen Greer, and that's it. So, as always, guys, this has been Red Pill 78. Thank you again to BCP. Good luck, and God bless everyone.
Ciao, everyone.